Guys, welcome in. Welcome in.
And welcome everyone.
Where's our guest? Where's our guest? There he is.
There he is.
There he is. You heard his voice. Now you can see his face. Welcome in, guys. Joe Lee with the actual first. Welcome in. Guys, we're not going to mess around with this one. Quick disclaimer, right? For those of you that have seen the disclaimer before and watched the podcast before, we appreciate you, but this is, it's essential. This podcast is solely for entertainment purposes. We do not advocate overconsumption or abuse of alcohol, and we certainly do not promote binge drinking, or I'll add underage drinking as well. We don't promote that. We don't promote serving alcohol to minors. We don't do that. All guests have the choice whether they wish to consume alcohol or not, and it is their responsibility to drink responsibly. And guys, I'm proud to announce. Stay still. I'm proud to announce that we are joined by the amazing upcoming artist. It's Nate, also known as Nathaniel.
Welcome in, brother.
Right, guys. How's it going?
Yeah. So to be fair, man, I would like to give a little intro to this guy here.
Please.
Please. I will say this episode is pretty special to me. So I was thinking about this the other day, about like how to introduce it, and I thought about it. So I'm 29 years old. I've known this guy for 26 years of my life.
To quote Joe Beats, Christ, you're old.
Yeah, right, which is fucking mental. So this is someone that I've grown up with literally as like a brother. And now he's big upcoming artist. Incredibly talented. If for some reason you haven't heard of him already, go fucking check him out. What the fuck are you doing? Like, stop wasting your damn time. Stop listening to all the mainstream shit. Go check him out. That's what I'm saying. So Nate, welcome in, man. Thank you for coming on, man. How is everything?
It's a pleasure, my guy. Like, life's good. Can't really speak more upon that side of things, but other than like in terms of the music, it's going really well. Was meant to be dropping a song today, but unfortunately due to delays, it's now coming next Friday.
Oh, we know. Right, okay. We know all about delays. We were late. Josh made us late again, guys.
Oh God, bro.
I can vouch for this one, guys.
Yes, thank you. Hard vouch. I love that.
Yeah. So Thomas, you wanna start us off? Because mate, like I said, I know basically everything there is to know about this guy.
Wow.
Right? Like I said, right.
Everything there is to know is a bold statement. Do you can you vouch, Nate? Do you feel like he knows everything there is to know about you? I feel like you're more multifaceted and more layered. Like Nate has layers. I feel like there's more that Josh probably isn't aware of that hopefully we can uncover.
Bro, you just called him an onion.
Listen, we're all onions.
Okay. Listen, man. Onions have layers. Yeah, it's correct. I have layers. He may know everything to know about Nat, but Nate is a completely different story.
That's what
True.
That's what we're going to delve into today, isn't it?
That's what we're going to find out more about, hopefully. So, your genre, what would you? So obviously, there's obviously elements of rap in there. You can tell by the pace and the lyrics. What would you class your genre as? If someone had to ask you, or I'm asking you now, like what genre would you say is your like genre like of music?
Well, I'd also have to pause you for a sec and say, are you talking about N43 or are you talking about my band Entity? Because they're both very, very different.
No, I know the difference. I'm a fan. I'm one of the monthly listeners now. No, we'll say for you first. Like, what would you class yourself as, like, in terms of an artist?
So for the solo stuff, to be fair, it's a mixed bag of everything and anything. So because obviously the band's quite pigeonholed, Nate would then take whatever else. So I've got pop punk stuff, unheard of yet, but there is pop punk shit.
Oh, jeez.
Majority is just grime, rap, drill, but then there's also elements of metalcore, because obviously you've heard the I Lose You soundtrack.
Yes.
By the way, absolute fucking belter.
Honestly, that song, like, all I can think about with that song now is like Josh's initial reaction to it, and you know what I said earlier, like sometimes like he's a bit slow on his when he's speaking at length and stuff, because he was proper going mad. He was like, honestly, it was like fucking orgasm. He was like, mate, there's a fucking tune. Like he was like going like all high pitched. So I didn't realize his voice went that high. Like
it's funny because unfortunately I'm using my phone to talk to you guys on. But the voice note Josh sent me, you could hear the hypeness. Like he was having a party in his bedroom.
Dude, I was gassed, man. I stuck my chair back and I was fucking giving it this in the fucking. Like, I'm like, this is stupid. This is. But yeah, sorry, I threw it in there because I love that song. I fucking love that. Thomas, sorry,
That's
carry
fair
on.
enough. So yeah, so you say yourself, like as an artist, there's a mixed bag of like a variety of genres. You'd say.
For the solo stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a whole heap of eclectic genres.
What would you say for the band NTT? What would you say their sort of primary genre is, or is it sort of the same?
Primarily, we're new metal,
Yeah.
so like Linkin Park-esque. But
Nice.
as the year will go on, you will soon realize that we are evolving and
Yo, man,
delving into
going
new.
from a young Squirtle into a War Turtle into a Blastoise.
Well,
Mate, we're skipping War Turtle. We're going straight from Squirtle to Blastoise.
Going Mega Blastoise. Yeah, I like that.
So to be fair, somewhere I've got a video. So I actually saw Nate's band play quite, in my opinion, quite like a fucking iconic venue. Saw them play at the Fiddler's Elbow in Camden. If you've heard of it, Thomas.
I actually have heard of it. Yeah, I was gonna laugh, but then I remembered like he's not. I've actually have heard of it.
Yeah, and yeah, and I must admit, because listen, I'm never gonna lie. Like because I went with my missus. And I was like, God, this is gonna be fucking terrible. Like, I know it is.
Was it not? Was it not weird going into a pub like named after, like with your elbow named after it? Like, is that
no? Funny cunt. So we rocked up, said hello, like hung out like in like the artist area with them, and mate. And listen, I'm not only saying this because he's my mate, because he knows. Like, I tell it like how it is. I was actually shocked at like how fucking good they were. Like, I was so gassed. Like,
you weren't expecting them to be good, or you weren't expecting them to be as good as you
I wasn't expecting them. I wasn't expecting them to be as good.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, especially when you're sort of like quote unquote a startup band, is how I'm going to phrase it. I feel like performing live is so different to being in a studio, right? Like
100%. Obviously, our live performances could do with some work. Like, we do need to improve on that sense. But our studio session recordings, honestly, there's nothing compared. When you talk about upcoming bands and obviously local bands, I don't want to blow my own horn or anything, but I do say that we are, obviously there are bands out there that are as good or better, but we are definitely above the majority.
Well, so to be fair, I think after the night, I think we were also like, I messaged you and I said you probably just got one of the biggest compliments, and so my partner does not listen to any of that kind of music at all, and she turned to me and she said, and she literally said they were fucking good, and I'm like, that is such a big compliment for someone who isn't into that kind of music.
What does Bella really listen to? Like same as you, or
like chart shit, like Coldplay, like all that kind of stuff.
Coldplay's not bad,
right. You would do, but okay, you take Coldplay in Wembley Stadium, and then you go down to Nate's band
at the Fiddler's Elbow.
In the Fiddler, yeah, sorry.
I know where I'd rather be personally.
Yeah, of course, too.
Stadium, innit? Wembley Stadium.
Absolutely fucking not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true, but yeah, no. Sorry, I keep interrupting. Go on, Thomas, carry on.
No, I was just gonna say. So, in terms of the band, you said that you're sort of like branching out into other genres. What have you got like coming up with the band? Like, what's sort of their next project? Is there like a live performance coming up, or like an EP that's about to drop? Like, what's the next sort of project for you in 2024?
So, in terms of the band stuff, there is a lot coming in terms of that. We signed to a management company last year, and they've been looking at shows left, right, and center. There are a few shows that we've announced, other ones that we will be announcing. Obviously, like I said previously, we've got a song coming next week.
Nice.
And in terms of new music that we're writing, you probably won't hear that until the end of the year because we're still getting through our catalogue of old stuff.
Oh, you've got a lot of stuff in the pipeline, basically.
Yeah, in terms of music, like we never stop writing. But we had an album's worth of material that we couldn't release as an album because we were talking through with some other bands and our producer, who top notch, by the way. One of the bands he's produced has been up for a Grammy nominated.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, he's just top notch. But he was talking to us and he was obviously saying, as a starter band, you don't want to drop an album straight away because it will get missed.
Yeah, you wanna
Right.
you wanna gradually, like, you know, get the feelers out, put your name out there. You know, maybe a couple tunes here and there, maybe like a small little body of work, and then, you know, when you get some sort of following where you feel like, you know what, I could drop like proper body of work, then obviously the people won't sleep on it that way because they'll know who you are, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly that. So obviously we released a few tunes throughout the years. 2022, I believe, we released our debut EP, and then just dropped a load of singles last year. This year we'll finalize it with 2 EPs, maybe.
Nice.
Okay, so to be fair, this is a question talking about this because I've never understood this. Right, realistically, what is the difference between an EP and an album?
You're going into the fucking semantics of it. In my eyes, I'm just gonna dumb it down a little bit, but basically an EP is just a shorter version of an album. So an EP can have anywhere between 2 to 7 songs, whereas an album can have anywhere between 7 to 12, maybe even 20. But then that's going
I
into.
always thought that, to be fair. I always thought album was just bigger, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to say it and just be like people. Oh, you're stupid.
But also in that sense, an EP can also just be worth of the singles that didn't make the album. So like an album is quite.
Yeah, you see, for me, that is exactly how I think of EPs. They're short and they're normally comprised
They're
of
just songs that they don't
And
necessarily
short, they tend to be quite short songs. So you would never
Yeah.
see like a 6-minute song on an EP.
Yeah.
Whereas like
Yeah,
an
it's true.
album in my eyes, like most of the good albums, sort of not. I wouldn't go as far as saying tell a story, but like each song, like it follows on for the next. You can tell like after that song, it cuts, almost goes into the next song. Like it's made for listeners to listen to in like one sitting, sort of thing. Whereas an EP, you can listen to any song off an EP in like any sort of order. No, that's my interpretation of an EP and an album. Like album, big body of work you can listen to all in one sitting. EP has got like, you know, I wouldn't say disjointed songs, but it's got songs maybe not quite there for the album, but you know they're still good enough that you want to release, and they're shorter, which you know may make for better listening because some people may not wish to like commit to an album. But that's my interpretation of it personally.
That has some aspects to it, but in terms of storytelling, you can storytell in 5 songs, you can storytell in 2. Like in terms of that, that's just down to the artist or the listener.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like I said, we started the project back in 2020, and we was in the studio.
Sorry, the project being Entity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, obviously, me and Zach, so Zach being the other vocalist of Entity, me and Zach have been working together for almost like 12, 13 years now. He was my producer at the start, and then he can sing, so I was like, I want to move on and make heavier music. He joined the project, and it just evolved. But basically, we were in the studio, had a 13 to 15 songs, I think, written and ready to go, so we just recorded those. Out came the album, and then it was just more a case of, I'll take those 5 because they're more heavier than these 5. So we'll release a heavier project of sorts, and then just dull it down.
Right.
Because if you hear the Transition EP, it's more nu metal heavy, whereas if you listen to like Pictures, Power, it's like quite laid back,
Right. So
like more anthemic.
So would you say you have a direction of like collectively of where you want the music to go in terms of genre?
I believe collectively we're just heading down the more nu metal core. It's just exploring the metal core aspects of a lot of things, because that's kind of where we were heading. I mean, we did write a lot of pop punk stuff, just me and Zach, but
Dude, I would love that.
It never fit the band.
You see, but then the thing is, I kind of feel like you say it wouldn't fit the band, but I feel like a lot of the big bands that are breaking through today are the ones that actually do kind of break out into that. I think Bring Me the Horizon, who we both love, is such a good example of not sticking to bread and butter.
Yeah, but also if you look at these bands, so look at Bring Me, look at Linkin Park, look at things like Breaking Benjamin and all that stuff. Their first few albums tend to be like similar sounding. As soon as they get to like the third, fourth album, they sort of like branch off and experiment.
Yeah,
but the thing with that is, if bands start to branch off and experiment, it's because they tend to want to experiment from like the second album. But because they made the first, they don't want the second to be too controversial. So then they end up.
They've already got dedicated listeners that obviously listen to them for their particular or specific genre or style of music. And then when they get to a point, this is again my interpretation, when they get to a point where they feel like people are going to listen to their body of work or their album or their singles, regardless of the genre, they're going to listen to it for the band, for the name, for the brand. You know, they can get away with sort of experimenting because it's like it's Linkin Park or it's whoever. It's like, you know, they know people are going to listen to them regardless. Whether the songs do as well, that's dependent on the band themselves. But
yeah, that is also dependent on the band. Also dependent on the fans if they're willing to accept the change or if they're willing to. Yeah.
I get that. I get that. So I was just going to say a quick one. So in terms of like the band, like a few more semantics. Like how many of there are you in the band? Like who comprises the band? Like so there's yourself. There was someone you said called Zach, who I'm assuming is part of the band. Like how many other members of the band are there?
So we currently sit at a 3-piece. Okay. Last year we did have 5 people, but won't delve deep into the reasons why they left, but they left us. And so now obviously
the drama.
Yeah, I won't delve into that one. But there's currently just me, Zach, the other vocalist, and then Jim, who's our guitarist. And we are looking for new members. We have got people lined up. Yeah. So you never know what happens in the next few weeks.
So okay, so without kind of like going down that like in terms of people individually, what happens within a band that causes breakdowns like that? Because that's something that I always find really interesting, especially through the. Because I feel like it only really happens in that genre, the kind of like rock section as a whole. I feel like is where you really see members come and go. I feel like in mainstream music, you really don't see it at all. You know, so I guess what kind of things lead to these kind of breakdowns within a group in music. So I guess what I'm trying to say.
From my perspective, I can only talk about the people that we've had leave. Mm-hmm. I can't talk about other bands who've had members come and go because they might have had different reasons. Obviously, we've had 3 members in the past. Our old guitarist, original guitarist who came on board, left because he wasn't quite into he wanted to keep it local. He wasn't thinking outside the box and going, oh yeah, I don't want to travel to Manchester. Well, we've played shows in Cardiff, Manchester, Southampton, like north, south. We've been there.
Didn't have the same vision, sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's fine. And then obviously the next guy, I love him to bits, still do. Got no ill qualm against him. He's also in a cover band, and in terms of that, you make more money in a cover band. As a starter band, you don't really make money. So there's that aspect. Like, am I going to keep pursuing something that's not really making money, or am I going to continue something where I can make back? I respect it, the hustle. Like, if I was in that shoe, I would definitely do the same.
Yeah.
And creative differences is another one. So outside of the first person, it just boils down to creative differences. Sometimes arguments can spur, but even then, you may not have arguments. People may just look at it and be like, "I've done my part.
I'm not on it anymore.
I'm not ready to move on."
Yeah, but then I guess like so like I guess I guess for me, my point of view, you say about creative differences. Are you ever like in the studio recording and someone someone is up to record their bit, whether it's vocals, instruments, blah blah, and you're listening to it and it's done badly, like do you as a group say, listen man, come on, that's shit, like what the fuck are we doing, type thing, like does that happen?
That can happen, and that has happened. Not so much to us has it happened, but we know about people that it has happened to. And
Right.
well, I say it hasn't happened to us, but even in trials, like when we get people in for rehearsals to try them out, just in case they want to be part of the band, we've had people come, they've been really good. We've had people come with the expectation that they've been good because their background and they've not really held their own. So, circles. But also the creative differences can also be in terms of you want to make new metal music, you want to make heavy deathcore music. They're not going to blend well together.
Yeah, because I guess you have to be on the same page. I feel like for both the music you want to make and where you want to go with it. I feel like you have to be very similar.
Similar, yes. Same would be no one person is the same. So similar, yes, because as long as you have like a vision of an end goal, then you can work towards it, and as long as you have compromise and understanding, like you can make it with a bunch of people you've never met before.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
But to have people that have the very, very different ideologies clash, that sets you up for disaster.
Sometimes sometimes it can be a good thing. I guess it depends on like how it's come about. If it's like, if it's like brains coming together, collaborating, trying to show each other both sides, and like you said, I think the key word in this is compromise. If you're willing to write, we can, do this, but I think we should also do this. But then other people, even when you suggest compromising, they just, if it's not their way, then it's the highway. So that's how you end up with these sort of conflicts and disputes, like in any sort of group setting as well, not just within a band scenario.
Yeah, no, it's exactly that. Because I always have the understanding and belief that if I'm going to listen to your point of view, will you have the same respect to listen to mine?
Yeah.
And that is literally all it boils down to. Because if I'm turning around to you saying, I don't want to do 6/8, let's do 4/4. I don't know if you guys know what that means.
Man spoke man went a foreign language. Just someone in chat translate. Any music heads translate, please. I have no idea what he just said, but no, I get what you're saying.
4/4 is the most common one, but like obviously polyrhythms is like 6/8 and not a 4/4. And obviously you get people that really want to play polyrhythms because they're more into that side of things, and then you get people who want an easier life and just play easier music. Simple.
Right.
What makes it easier?
Like
easier to record, easier to write to? Like what makes it easier?
Easier.
Or easier to listen to? Like what is it easier for?
So from the perspective I'm talking about is if you listen to Entity as a musician, like if you're a guitarist, drummer, bassist, whatever musical instrument you play, if you listen to us in that aspect and you can't pick up our stuff easily, then maybe you need to go back to the drawing board and reevaluate your skills, because we are so simple.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, sorry, I'm gonna kind of branch off a little bit while we talk about like actually making music and whatnot. So, because obviously, so you as Nate is different to you in the band. So, how is your mindset different when it comes to producing music for both projects? Because I would imagine they're very different. So you can't go in to the studio with the same aspect of, right, I'm going to go record with the boys. You can't go with that mindset going into the studio on your own to record your own stuff. I would imagine they're two very different mindsets. Like you have different levels of like creativity, visions type thing. And
You'd be surprised. Like generally, you'd be surprised. So from the top, if you've heard the song Pledge, I was writing that for Nate, and I had that in my mindset of this is going to be a Nate track, so I'm going to make it more complex than I would Entity. So in that sense, yeah. But I also approach both things very similarly. So like Pledge, I wrote a bar or two, and then I walked up to the mic, recorded that, and then finished writing the song on the mic.
Right.
Whereas Entity, I will sit back and maybe not do that, or maybe just do it out loud and then write it down, or I'll. It's similar in my head on how I approach things, and it also depends on the subject matter and how I'm.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you said it's similar, but you just said two
Yeah.
very different things.
Yeah, I really just contradicted myself in terms of
Same
Completely
difference.
different.
It's the same but different. I understand.
Different.
I love that.
Yeah.
the point my brain was trying to get to is the fact that whether it's Nate or Entity, I could do both. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The crossover is how I write varies on day-to-day basis. If I'm writing, so the majority of the time, I will write a track and I won't have any concept in mind. I'll just listen to a beat and whatever comes. And then after I've written the song, and I'll turn around and be like, I don't think I can send this to the boys. I'll take it for myself because it doesn't fit the vibe of Entity.
Fair. Okay, so going off that, so let's go off the song you did for me and Thomas, which is a banger, by the way, and it'll be on Spotify soon. And if you're not fucking saving it, I swear to God, I will fuck you all up. All right. So if we're talking,
so aggressive.
No, because I love that. So if we're talking about that song, like, talk us through from the very start to finish of how I guess of how you actually did it and mentally how you built it is what I'm trying to ask.
Right, let me step back into that mindset. So with that track, obviously you approached me and you was like, "Oh, can you do me like a 30-second verse?" And I was like, "No problem." I went online. Obviously, originally you were talking to me about drill stuff because you heard the Nate things, and obviously Thomas was like, "Yeah, man, I like that style of things."
Yeah, Thomas loves his drill.
By a UK
But-
driller, that's me. I'm joking.
Yeah.
But
Trigger
in
talk.
my head, I sort of sat back and went, "Right now, if I'm watching a podcast, do I really want that, like the snares and all this shit, to come in
be
and
the
to
opening.
Fuck it, why
Right,
not
you-
send it? Yeah, no, I get what you're saying there.
Yeah, but obviously I'm trying to think ahead in that sense. So then I find a nice calming instrumental to write to, and I'm like, yo, the verse I've written or was going to start to write to, I was like listening over and over again. I was like, yes, this could work well into like an interlude, intro, whatever you want to use it as, outro maybe. And then I wrote the verse,
You see,
and then I got carried away.
Okay, so sorry, I'm going to stop you there. So to slow it down, bring it back. So when you first wrote those first few lines, how do you come up with that, like in your head? Because so me and Thomas will agree, we are not creative. Like
I'm somewhat of a musician myself. I honestly, I'm not even joking. I have a diss track on YouTube that has like small views, but I was like 16 and I dissed this fat kid who was like another rapper when I was in school. Honestly, there were bars in there, but we're not talking about me. We're talking about Nate, man. Shut up. But no, honestly,
I kind of want to hear this diss track because I was going to make the joke that you played the trumpet.
No. But no, in general, what Josh was referring to before we get into that. So, with the artwork that we've got on the stream as well, and I was going to say the diss track, fucking hell, and the intro song. A lot of the time, we give whoever we're approaching with it. It's like, listen, we kind of want this, but we don't know what we want it to look like. We just want it to be good, sort of thing. So we probably give people, you know that TikTok where the guy's like, Dad, can you make my Burger King gourmet? It's like we give people Burger King and they make it gourmet, and that's definitely the case here because it's come out better than what I could have ever imagined, and I'm sure I can speak for Josh as well. Because look at his face, look, fucking grinning cheek to cheek. Look at him, well happy. He had to take a chug there. So.
But also bearing in mind, before I delve into what you've originally asked me, in terms of actually making the song, there was at least 3-4 people in the process. So it wasn't. So obviously I wrote the lyrics, but the actual creating side of the instrumental, the music side, that was someone else. The mixing and mastering, someone else. So Like, there's multiple layers and elements to it.
Yeah.
But in terms of me writing, obviously, Josh approached me and asked me for a 30-second verse. He didn't really delve too much into it. He was just like, oh, we've got a podcast.
I can imagine that bit didn't need clarification, but I'm glad that we got it because that sums us up quite nicely. Not much, didn't give us much, but we just worked with what we got.
No, well, because like I feel like that's how me and Thomas have approached this. Is right. We kind of know what we want, but actually we don't have a fucking clue what it is we actually want.
We want to take over the world, but we don't know what that's going to look like.
Yeah. So me and Thomas, we're kind of like Pinky in the brain, but we're both Pinky.
I'm the brain. Come on, you're definitely Pinky.
So it shuts up, man. Yeah. Go on.
You two. I think you do it enough yourself. But so no, I actually ended up asking Josh a few questions like, what's the podcast called? What's the name? What's the elements of it? And then also piece together my own views on it. Obviously, at that point, I didn't actually know you had a podcast, so I hadn't listened or watched. So if you actually listen to the song, the subject matter of the actual podcast isn't correct.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, it's true. So it's because I think when we originally started this, it's like we had like the idea where it was like we wanted to. So on like all the little spreadsheets we have where we put all of our talking points, the premise I can read it out, and we've not changed it sort of since. So the premise of the podcast, we had it as like we wanted to talk about. Pardon me. We wanted to talk about Pokemon to begin with, Pokemon Go, anything surrounding Pokemon, maybe that's happening with trading card getting, just like Pokemon in general. And then after that, because obviously a large amount of like my viewers and viewership and people that know me and people that know Josh as well come from a Pokemon background. And me and Josh met through Pokemon. We thought that's like an appropriate way to start, and then gradually we sort of like. We're going to keep saying layers a lot. I feel like we should make it a drinking game. I feel like the layers to it were that we go from like Pokemon and make a transition into talking about people's in real life stuff, like what they do on their day to day, like hobbies, other career goals and motives and whatnot. And then, as the cast goes on, then eventually we start just really finding out the nitty gritty. Yeah, we start just branching off. Like there's a million tangents. There's been a million in sort of like what we on now.
Yeah,
we're approaching.
But I feel like that's what a podcast is ultimately. Like you're just sitting down with a couple of people having a chat.
We quickly realised that as someone, me personally, that likes spreadsheets. Obviously, it's good to have the spreadsheets for the talking points. But we realised that you know what, like it may not look like we have a lot to talk about. Like we could probably have like a few things. But then it's like, wow, like we'll really sort of like weave something out of what may appear to be not a lot. So we're getting better in that regard. But,
yeah. Well,
like you also ADHD up, which is fine.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I will say, like, even though we're only 18 episodes in, I feel like we very quickly changed the layout.
Yeah.
Actually, bear in mind we
based
both
on
play Pokemon
based on both like feedback and our own like checking stuff like stream summary and analytics and just small things. Not that we're that focused on the numbers at this stage. Obviously, we don't want to quantify everything we do. We're sort of just doing it because we enjoy it. But based on feedback and like other like podcasts you watch and everything. From like viewer retention to maintaining an audience and just keeping things live and fresh, like we quickly realised. I feel like that's a big part of why we've got you on the podcast today. Like you literally have nothing to do with Pokemon. I'm gonna say like without knowing for sure. I don't know. Maybe you're you're a secret fan.
The past I have with Pokemon.
You've dabbled. I see. But
not in Pokemon Go. So obviously, I wouldn't say not in Pokemon Go. Me and Josh used to. Well, no, I used to go out with Josh and play Pokemon Go, but obviously it stems from the mainstream games.
Yeah.
Me and Josh are playing the opposite games.
Wait, because this is a whole different section. Let's finish this section.
Okay.
This
is what I'm saying, guys. Tangents. It very quickly. One becomes linked to another. What's that? Combination. That's what it does. Yeah. Everything just links up. But no, in general, you're our first like non-Pokemon related guest. Like all of our other guests have either been Twitch streamers. They've either been like like PvP players, which is just battling. Like even battlers, or they've just been grinders. and stuff like that. Like we've not had anyone that's sort of outside of that box. So it's a big milestone for us. And like Josh said at the start of the episode, it's a very special episode for him as well, because he's got one of his close friends on too.
Yeah, definitely. But I think as well, I think we both kind of realised, as much as we love playing the game, we really don't enjoy talking about it
the
that
game's
much.
Shit. No, I think that's what we've realised now, because there's a million podcasts. Like there's one that's literally coming out the woodwork even at the start of this year. I ain't saying no names because you man don't deserve the platform that we built. Come on, say it with your chest. Right, anyway, that aside. But there's a lot of podcasts that talk about Pokemon. Now, we have to ask ourselves two questions. First question is, do we want to be another one of those podcasts that just, they all sound the same, you know, you can take your pick of which one you listen to, or do we want to, in a roundabout way, stand out from the crowd and be something different? Because whether those people that like those podcasts like it or not, that's fine. If they don't like it, it's not the one for you. But we are, you know, if you do listen to us, and by the way, anyone listening to us now, watching back on YouTube, listening on Spotify, we appreciate you. Shout out all of you. Like, this is the podcast for you. We wanted to, it's the same with anyone. It's not just us that's doing it. We want to set us aside from the crowd, think outside the box, and just be something a little different, and hope people appreciate it. And again, like I said, if you don't, then there are other boring, droll, politically correct podcasts that talk about Pokemon for you. You can enjoy those till the cows come home.
But then I think as well, I mean, you've only got to look at our background. Like, we're in a pub. Like, if you're in a pub with your mates, you're not talking about Pokemon.
No, you're talking about politics. Right.
Yeah, mate. Well, no, like, you're talking about history.
Anything
and
else? Yeah. How do you get on there?
Anything.
How's the missus? Like, you know, and how's the
do you know what I mean? And that is what it's supposed to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yes. So I just wheeled it back in, and then you took us on another fucking tangent.
Oh, that one's my fault. Okay, yeah. Cool. I'll take that one. Go on.
Okay. So anyway, so we throw it back. So the song you've written down. You've written down the first few lines, okay, and then what did you say? Then you wrote the verse. Was it the verse you said came next?
So the structure you hear it in is the way I wrote it. So the first verse is what I wrote first, because that's what I thought would try and entice people to watch and listen.
Yeah.
And then I got caught up on the tangent and just wrote the chorus. And then obviously I approached you and went, do you know what, fuck it, Brian's going to rap the last song. And you were like, yeah, go for it.
You see, because for me, so whenever I listen to the song, and this can sound really weird, I visualize like a theatre play. You know, and so that like the first verse is like the curtains kind of opening, right? Because like you said, you kind of like entice people to like relax and get into it.
Also, bearing in mind, I wrote it from the perspective as if it was you and Thomas speaking it and not me.
Yeah, there you go. Fucking Josh and Thomas cover coming soon, yeah? So is that what we're saying, yeah? But yeah, so yeah, and like for me, genuinely, that is how I see it in my head. Like the first verse is like the curtains are opening, and then it kind of gets into it, you know, with like the chorus, obviously, and then the middle bit, like the chorus again, and then the kind of fade out curtains kind of coming down. Like that's literally how I see it, which is kind of like a podcast, right? It's right. Listen, man, it's my autism, man. It sends my mind like down rabbit holes from it. I just run with it. But yeah. So anyway, sorry, I keep fucking interrupting. So carry on.
I lost the tangent. I don't know where we are.
We were talking about sort of like, so obviously came to you with the idea of an intro, and then it quickly for you probably turned into writing a whole last song. So I'm not gonna. I lost the initial question as well. I think it was along those lines.
Yeah, well,
it was along the lines of like, how did the song come about? I got that part, but it's more of a, I don't know. I asked you questions. I did those questions. I wrote it from your perspective. It was the chorus. Yeah. The chorus did it for me though, because I wrote the verse.
Yeah.
And as much as I liked it and approached you with it, it was the chorus. Because I feel like that's the most catchiest part. Like, what part do you remember? The one part that Zach does.
I remember Oh, what
It's
is
Josh
it?
and Thomas on the cast, and we're coming at you live. That one.
No, not that one. Oh,
Yeah.
I remember it, but no, that's not the
Of
one.
course
It's
you
the one where it's like, oh, but it's like, I booze you, and then it's like something Mewtwo, and then it goes into the chorus, that little bit. It's
You're
like,
not combining you two.
yeah, and I'm just there like, spazzing, like,
Fucking
yeah, and then it just goes straight into the hook. Like it was crazy.
It's
Well, I need to
unbelievable.
remember the lyrics is impossible because I'm currently in rehearsal mode for Entity, so I've got a bunch of tracks rolling around my head. But I know it's like No Goodbye Me Two's High Fruit Booze.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, mate, get me on as a feature for that song, man. Come on, I know that shit. I fucking know it. I listen to it like at least like a few times a week, like for no
Religiously.
reason. Yeah, like for no reason. I just listen to it because I like it. Okay, so now we can go back to the other tangent, which we actually have. So to be fair, as much as I say we're like chaotic, we do try to be organized, Nate. We do have like spreadsheets and stuff. So like when we have guests on, we do we do like write down like talking points and stuff like that.
Oh, bro, if you're looking like me and you're writing down ideas, just throw them out the window.
Nah,
Literally just throw them
to
out the
be
window.
fair,
You write ideas down on the couch somewhere.
some of
You're
our
never-
previous guests, because Josh obviously knows you, it kind of helps as well. Like kind of, he's known you for 20 years. But like some of our guests, well, obviously we've delved through, we've gone through their Twitter, trying to find tweets. I say you'll be pleased to know that we haven't done that because I feel like we've got enough to talk about already. But we can go through your Twitter if you would like. With or without your consent, we'll do it.
Considering the fact that I don't really use Twitter that much,
Yeah.
go for it.
Oh,
In the later tweets, you'll probably just find music-related stuff. In the earlier tweets, cringy.
Yeah.
We want to find those.
Nate's cam's gone off on your screen, just so you know.
Oh yeah, it's because I keep going on the spreadsheet that we are speaking of. Yeah,
So
I'll go.
So on the spreadsheet we have like I said, so we kind of have like a category and then like a just kind of like a little breakdown or a question there. So and this one is basically about growing up 2 doors down from me, right? When we were kids. So
Yeah.
you know, so come on, talk to us. Tell Thomas the origin story of this friendship. Beautiful.
Oh, I have to admit right here, right now, that a lot of my childhood is like blacked out.
Yeah, get fucked, Josh. Get fucked.
But I can safely sit here and say that I have a lot of memories of Josh, and a lot of cherished memories, I must say.
Yeah. So literally, we grew up 2 doors down from each other.
Where
right?
did you? Where was this? Like paint the city. Like
Plumstead.
paint a picture. Where did you both grow up?
Plumstead. I was born and raised in Plumstead.
Okay.
Southeast London, kind of maybe like 5 minutes away from where I am now, Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my old house is literally up the road from that pub.
Yeah, literally. And so I'll be honest, I don't remember exactly how we met. I don't remember exactly, but
It was definitely Greenslade, I know that much.
yeah, it might have been going to school and our parents talking, but I just remember we spent a lot of time together. Like,
yeah, it would always be the case of I was always around Josh's as opposed to he was around mine.
Yeah. But so Thomas, when you said he doesn't have like a Pokemon affiliation, he does. And to be fair, this story is really fucking wholesome. Really wholesome. So growing up, we were both big Pokemon players, to be fair, the main series games. And so we would always do this. So obviously you had 2 different versions of the games, right? So when we were kids growing up, it was blue and red, right? Yeah. Blue, red, gold, silver.
I resent this, my friend.
Yeah. And what me and Nate used to do is he would get one and I would get the other.
That's what me and my cousin would do. It's always good because then you can trade over like nowadays, like any exclusives. Yeah.
Even with the actual even with the videos of the series, right? We used to get, so if it was like Christmas and stuff, he would ask for a certain one, and I would ask for the ones like following on or before it.
So you had
And
you
then
had you had the whole set.
Pokemon in one sentence.
Yeah. And then we would watch them and then swap them to to watch you over.
Hey,
Like
big
it was
brain.
so wholesome.
Big brain
Yeah.
players,
No, it was so fucking wholesome. And yeah, we spent a lot of time together growing up. A lot of time.
Did you go to
And
like?
yeah,
Did you
and
end
I
up
still
sort of
point
going?
out that I never once completed the Pokédex until I was in my 20s.
Oh no.
Damn, bro. Damn.
Yeah.
Did you ever
Sorry,
go?
Thomas.
Did you? I was gonna say like, did this sort of just come about like the friendship just living in the same local area? Because you know how people like they meet each other through like school or maybe like let's just say youth club or like some sort of venture like that. Like how did it? Like what did you just like? Because the way it's making it sound is you sort of just started like hanging out or might have just because you live in the same area just it was just more like convenient that you were hanging out and then you started hanging out more. Like how did it actually come about? The friendship.
So that's probably where it gets tricky because obviously 26 years coming up 30,
Fucking long
we're
fucking
still
time.
quite young.
Yeah.
But ultimately, a lot of the memories are from Greenslade.
The school.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a school.
And obviously, Josh, our birthdays are in the same year, but obviously, Josh is a year below me because of where his birthday falls.
Yeah.
So it was always a case of I would either see him after school or on breaks.
Yeah.
But this is becoming very interesting to those listening. You're probably dozing off.
Yeah, no, man, it's good. It's the good shit, man. It's what they want. It's what they want.
We want to hear. We want to hear the origins. We want to know how
that's it,
people.
man.
Because like nowadays, like you said, like when we first asked the question and brought up the subject, it's like you really have to like you think about, it, and then once you start thinking about a few things, you start unlocking doors, opening windows, and then the floodgates are open. Like you start thinking, oh shit, do you remember that? Do you remember that? It's like it's crazy. There's so much like information in your brain. There's like stuff in your sort of short term, there's stuff in the long term, and then there's like it's like an ice cube. There's like stuff underneath that won't surface until like you know.
That's such a weird analogy.
No, but this is the analogy I see. Like it's like you have an iceberg, right?
I've never heard of the ice cube. I've heard of an iceberg.
I said it. Oh, for fuck's sake! Right,
you said Ice Cube, brother. You did say Ice Cube.
Listen, Ice Cube, shout Ice Cube, yeah. But no, so iceberg at the tip of it. We'll get him on the cast next. At the tip of it, you have all of the stuff in your immediate short-term memory, and then like as you go further down, you'll have some other stuff that you have to think about a little bit, and then you'll have like suppressed memories, like usually childhood memories, just because they were so long ago, like people you grew up with and whatnot. Like,
so to be fair, I think one memory I do like that does really stick out from when we were really young, and to be fair, you might have even backed this out. I remember, and it might have actually been how we became friends. I remember there was one kid in your year, because you were the year above me, who was a proper cunt. I don't remember who it was, and for some reason, like, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm just fucking making this up, but like for some reason, it sticks out. I think I remember him like just basically picking on you, and for some reason, I remember going over and just being like, leave him alone.
Boy, cunt. Like, not like that. Yeah, young, but like, yeah, fuck off in it.
Yeah, and like and then for me, that for me is where I remember the friendship like starting for some reason, and I don't know
if that's how it started. That's really wholesome. Josh is just there, man saving the day, knight in shining armor. Crazy.
Yeah, is that right? Do you remember that, or am I just?
I'll be honest with you. I was bullied up until like year 9-ish, so it's probably a reason why I don't remember a lot of my childhood stuff.
Fucking hell, Josh, you didn't help. Fucking like one off.
Bearing in mind,
just let it happen, you prick. No, I'm joking.
But bearing in mind, when I went to year 7, Josh moved to Hull.
Josh moved.
Yeah.
And I only ever saw Josh in the summers.
Yeah, which to be fair is why this friendship is kind of really wholesome. So I
stood
moved
the test of time.
Yeah, no, dude, not even just the time, like distance. Like, so I'd moved like 250 miles away. And and this was way before Facebook was a thing. Like,
Yeah, bro. We
way
used to phone each other on the actual phone, telephone, like cord.
Does
Yeah,
anyone even
like-
do? Does anyone do that anymore?
no, yeah, no, literally
Oh.
not. And
Modern
yeah,
era.
yeah, and you used to come and visit like every fucking summer.
That's sweet.
Yeah, man. From the
Every
age of
summer.
13 to 18, I think. Yeah, so a good
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah, literally, and it was just a thing. Like, and we did it, and then Facebook, social media came around.
It was easier to stay in touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
To
I
be
was in
fair,
college,
Josh
you were
is
in
the reason
college.
why I've got Facebook.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that is true.
A
Literally made it.
weird reason you've got Twitch.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
There we go, yeah.
Yeah, and then literally, like, we've just been friends like ever since.
How did that
Like,
friendship look like though? Like in terms of say coming to visit you over the summer from like ages 13 to 18.
mate,
I'm
they
guessing.
were fucking great,
No, but
man. They were great.
My point was more like, you know, I guess the stuff you're doing when you're 13, 14, you know, you're doing like certain stuff, and then I guess it
mate,
changes when you're
so-
17, 18. Like, did it literally go from, you
No.
know, playing at each other's houses to playing footballs to going to a pub? Like, how
So-
did it end up evolving in that sense?
So
The memories I have of being up at Josh's in Hull was we would play cricket in the garden with Lucas sometimes. We would
Yeah.
go on bike rides with his other friends. Like, I remember Matthew.
yeah,
Yeah.
mate. Okay, so Matthew now works at like a Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah, I've seen all this.
Shout
Yeah,
out Matthew,
top chef.
chefing up.
No, yeah. So to be fair, it was always really amazing because Nate is like a city boy, like through and through. Like, and so I would always remember you coming up to the countryside and just loving it. It's just like bathing in the nothingness.
Oh, bro, do you remember those late nights when we used to go to the hay bales with the people?
Yeah.
The people.
Yeah. Oh, mate. So to be fair, I was just gonna get one of the memories I remember. So we used to. God, Joe, I can even direct you like.
Yeah.
Take us there.
My autism can direct you from where your mum used to live all the way up to the shops to where you get the bus.
Yeah, it was so I had two bikes. We got on the bikes and you go down the end of the road, down the little alleyway, through the hedges, past someone's garden. You come out onto the main road, take a left, and on the corner you've got the pub. If you take the left and you go a good I'd say a good half a mile down. Like and so bearing in mind, right, there's nothing here, right? There's a few houses, it's just countryside. You get to the bottom, there's a farm, like owned by it's a pig farm.
Of course,
I remember.
Of course,
right? Yeah, dude, and yeah, dude, and I remember we were just being twats. We were just being dickhead. I remember we were throwing stones into we were throwing stones trying to get them into where the pigs were.
What's that film? What's that big time? What's that film where it's like
Big Time Rush?
No. Where like they're these kids and it's based on a farm, but these kids would like tip the cows over and like that's called cow tipping. Like what's that from?
Oh, that's
that reminds me of what you're doing. You're just here like fucking hassling some pigs. Like fucking leave them alone. They're chilling in the trough.
Yeah, I know. So
I'm gonna look it up. Go on.
But then I remember the owner of the farm came out and he was pissed, and we cycled so fucking fast, and we were going nowhere because we only had little legs. We were going fucking nowhere, literally nowhere. We were scooting it off on these fucking bikes because if you remember, Nate, he came out with a gun. I
was about to say to you, didn't you have a shotgun?
Yeah, how old were you lot? Like, man are coming out with swords, shotties.
It would. I don't know.
It was
13, 14.
13. You lot were gonna get gunned down by crazy farmer.
Dude, because we would be dickheads, right? But then sometimes we'd go up there, we wouldn't be dickheads, and we'd throw our bikes like into the field so then no one could see they were there. Climb the fence, and he just had he had a barn full of hay bales, and we would just climb on them and literally just chill out. We would sit on top of these hay bales and just talk shit.
How long would you chill there for? Was like you know in
Hours.
the back of your mind you're
Hours.
thinking the shotgun wielding maniac could come at any minute and start letting it off.
No, because it was hours because
Bro, it would be light 1 second and then dark the next. And
yeah, because
Lights out.
okay, so because for me the way my mum was growing up was if I was like if I was out like with my mates or whatever, the rules always were as soon as the street lights come on, you've got 10 minutes to be on.
Fair.
Right? It was always the way. And because Nate was literally like a year older than me, she trusted him infinitely, and it was like, no, it's fine. You can like stay out, right? And it was like, oh yeah, you know, you're allowed to stay out as late as you want. You know, you can go do whatever the fuck you want. We're like, yeah, we're just gonna go chill on some hay bales, like. But like it was, but because I remember, so in the roof there was like missing slats. So it was just like stars in the sky, and it was like we would just sit there and just talk. And
can I just say here before this goes any deeper? Yeah, this was not romantic.
This sounds like something off a film. You man just chilling on hay bales. Look at the stars like look at that one. Look at that one. That's a shooting star. Let's make a wish. We're gonna be friends forever.
yeah. No.
You probably did say that at some point.
Yeah, no, we did. We did. No, because we talked about
life.
Because we talked. Yeah, because we talked about the house we were gonna get together, and we were gonna have gaming rooms and fucking. Do you know what I mean? Like all that shit, man. And then
Look at us now.
Simp.
Yeah, no, like honestly, like it's mad. Like even to think about it now while I'm talking about it, it's so crazy to think that like.
Welling up.
But do you know what's weird?
Yeah.
You mentioned about the bikes, and automatically my brain went, "Yeah, you remember when I rode Luke's bike?" And obviously he's a little kid at that point, and my legs are like this. And there was another situation where I rode the bike, and I tried being cool and jumping off. I'm not very coordinated, mind you, and I ended up like bouncing off the back wheel, proper bruise in my wrist.
Yeah, so bad. It's so bad.
To be fair, I can think of like 13, 14-year-olds doing like worse things at the end of the day. Like when you say you're chilling on some hay.
I think we might have been a bit older at that point, but
fair enough. Yeah, because you can think of kids doing worse things.
I don't think so. I don't think.
I don't think we were like 17, 18, but we were definitely like.
No, definitely not.
Definitely not 18, laying on some hay bales, talking about the house you're gonna get. Oh, look at the stars.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Bro, we did that last Christmas.
Yeah.
Last Christmas.
Yeah, no, it was about 13, 14. Because then, if we weren't doing that, we would cycle up to the village where some of my mates lived, and we'd go fucking play football and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'd also go to the park. I know it sounds like everything, but as a teenager, you'd go to the park, hang out.
Yeah, and just like
shit.
Yeah, and then from there, well, after that is when I moved back down here, I think.
But what is that place near where you used to live? Is it Whip?
Where?
I might not be thinking about the right place. Obviously, the locations aren't really my forte. The seaside with the arcade and shit.
Wivensea. Yeah. Yeah. Why?
Oh, just remember we used to go there sometimes. We used to jump on a bus and actually go into Hull.
Yeah.
That was a long ass fucking bus ride.
Yeah, dude, that was a fuck. Dude, do you know how annoying it is? Like, because obviously, like, now I live in London, right? And for me, if I'm like, oh, my bus isn't here, I've been waiting 3 minutes. This is fucking bullshit. Up in Hull, Thomas, 2 buses an hour.
No, that sounds like right? For whatever reason that sounds like when my parents live in Braintree. Like I don't know, like I went because I used to live in London. I always thought, oh, London bus is so bad, but fuck me, like moving out of London to like where my parents live, and now just being in the Midlands, like I will never say a bad thing about TFL again. It's like buses, far and
to be fair, that's been my attitude the whole time, and I still end up doing it. So I've ended up moving further down out of London.
Yeah.
And the buses aren't London buses. So it's a bit like I'm still complaining about it, even though I know like both sides.
Yeah, like, and they're just shit. And so if you wanted to go into the city, it was easily 50 minutes on a bus. Easily 50. Well, and
So you
then
basically have to plan your day and get up like extremely early to get your routine done. Like obviously dress, wash, brush teeth, and all that shit. Eat breakfast, then leave. Walk fucking a mile or so to the bus stop.
To the bus stop, yeah, literally.
Fuck, you might as well keep walking. Like at that point, like just because to walk a mile to your nearest bus stop, that's crazy, man. And then it's the whole point of buses.
It was a straight road, to be fair to you.
Yeah.
You wouldn't really think about it.
Yeah, it was literally a dead straight road, like just a mile. It was fucking long. Yeah, and then, like I said, from there, moved down. And then, to be fair, weirdly, when we lived closer, is probably when I saw you least, which is really weird to think about. I'm pretty sure.
Absence like the heart go fonder.
Yeah, but if you think about it in that sense, it would be I would come out when you live down here. I would come to you after school. So growing up, and then obviously when I was up there for like 3-4 weeks at a time for the holidays. And then obviously after 18, 19, when you moved back down here, you were working, I was working, so it's kind of like
I guess it's life. Life, just you started adulting.
Life gets in the way. Yeah.
But even to this day, I don't really see you as much, but we still chat and we still like.
Yeah, that's point there. But yeah, so that is like the origin story of this friendship, and it's beautiful. Love it, appreciate it.
So much,
man, it's just
if anyone's listening that is like, like a budding sort of videographer or is interested in film, they should make a movie out of that because
give us a Netflix series. We'll take that.
I especially want the Hagar scene in there, but you can romanticize it if you want.
And then just and then you two just like holding hands and then making eye contact and then like the hands moving away. The one's there, the little.
All right, bro. We were kids, you big nonce. Fuck,
No, you could have been happy. Yeah, it's completely platonic. You made it weird.
Yeah, you fucking sus. But
speaking of kids, Nate. Yeah. I thought he was going to say something weird, so I've saved us here. Speaking of kids, Nate, you're a dad. How does that work now? Like, how do you?
No, he's not.
Are you not?
He's not yet.
Okay, not yet. Touch wood, we're all good. Right, you're becoming a dad. Like, I'm not going to say how did that come about because I know what the birds and the bees are, fuck's sake. But how
Man just said, how did you pipe your missus?
No.
Said, how did you fornicate?
yeah. If I'm asking that question, I'm asking for you because Josh has been struggling on that regard. But no, in general, how do you see your sort of like future career and like music prospects? Like, how do you see that panning out with a child on the way? Like, how do you find yourself being able to like? Do you see yourself obviously being able to balance the parenting with like your job and music and stuff like that? Like, how do you envisage it looking?
It's not going to be easy. I can tell you this.
Yeah.
But in terms of the music, we make it work as best as we can.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I would quit just to hone in on a family, that's not kind of the case. It's just more of a.
You don't want to throw away everything you've worked for, yeah.
Have you thought about doing that though?
I thought about it many times.
Yeah, because okay, so obviously I'm not gonna go into it because it's not the place to talk about, but. Because I remember when you told me about you expecting, I was like, he's gonna be such a fucking good dad, like 100%, like, and he's gonna do it for himself, is what I thought, which probably makes more sense to you, Nate, than anyone else who was listening. So I guess I can imagine quitting would have really been like on your mind quite a lot.
And it's weird because we have a daughter now.
Yeah.
And we make it work now. But adding another kid to the mix, it will just mean that I have to be more sensible with it. Like, I can't just pick and choose every show that they throw at us. I can't just pick up more shifts at work if I feel like it. It's more of a case of I have to try and really work out the balance. But in terms of everything, if I could, I would throw it all away because I would rather just be a family man and try and face something that may not ever happen.
Right. Yeah, but then to be fair, I think we had this conversation a few weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure you said, if you want it bad enough, you will make it work.
Make it work, yeah. Same with anything, like a
Right.
relationship, a goal. Like you'll just, if you're committed, like, and you're like, you're willing, then it's like, when people sometimes when they're in relationships and they're like, oh, it's not gonna work because of the distance, and it's like, well, if one of you drives or both of you drive and there's like public transport, you'd make it work easily. Like a lot of people just like to make excuses rather than make things happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've dabbled with the idea a lot, but what always sticks in the back of my mind is the fact that why am I pursuing something to not make it work? Like, it's do or die in that aspect. Like, try and put your all into something, but at the same time, you're not putting your all in because you're also putting your all into 3 other pots.
I think...
Which I'll happily do.
Yeah, I mean, I think as well, because you are a very driven person. I think you get very hyper focused on the things you want. I think the idea of being comfortable and sitting down isn't really who you are. I think you like the grind sort of aspect of life and always trying to pursue something bigger and better rather than taking your foot off the pedal.
Or settling for what you've already achieved.
Yeah. I think that is very much who you are. Like, ever since I've known you, to be fair, you've always you've always known where you want to go, and you've not cared about how you're getting there. Apart from you are going to get there, is what I'm trying to say.
But also in that same breath, I have learned more recently. So obviously, growing up, I had more of a carefree, I don't give a fuck. Whereas now it's more of a, no, I've actually got to sit back and actually think this thoroughly. Like, I have a family now. Like, you can't just go, right, tomorrow I'm going to Manchester for a show, because we've done that. Like, last year we did that a lot. And you can't just do that now. You can't just be like, right, there's a show opened up, let's do it. Oh, where is it? Manchester, fuck. Yeah, let's go for it. It's more of a,
you have to sit down and you have to rationalize it. Yeah, you have to think I really want to do this show, but at the same time, I have to this may have to be one that I miss for this reason.
So this is the other aspect. So obviously earlier I said there's a lot of shows in the pipeline, and obviously some that we can't fully talk about or commit to.
Yeah.
But there are talks of tours going on, and not just tours in the UK either. But that is a conversation that I have internalized, also externalized in other aspects. But it's as cool as it would be to go, I'd also happily miss out.
Yeah, it's not it's not an easy conversation. Tour, yeah, great. But obviously I don't know the other members of your band that well. If they have commitments and kids and stuff as well, it's not just going to be something you can all just do. You're gonna have to, like you said, you're gonna have to think about it and actually rationalize it, and most likely make a decision that might not be the best for the band's sake, but it's the best for you and your family.
For the family's sake, yeah.
But also bearing in mind that I can talk to you rationally about it now and have both sides not fighting against each other. But when I'm talking to my partner, it's more of my head's more going, how can I work this out so that we can do both at the same time? How can I go on this tour and take you with me? How can we make it work?
Yeah. So, okay. So I'm going to kind of play devil's advocate here a little bit. So, have you and your partner had any run-ins or clashing heads about you going and doing a show that maybe you were oh, I maybe shouldn't do that?
No. So my partner's very supportive in that sense. I love her to pieces because she came into this. So the whole situation around that is I actually met her through her mum because her mum came to one of our shows.
There you go.
And from that point on,
that's kind of mad. That's a mad story,
Yeah, that's a story for a separate day. But
Yeah.
because of that, she sort of came in with the mindset of, no, I came into the band, like, I'm not going to take you away from the band, but it's also my own head going.
She knew what she signed up for in that sense, yeah.
Yeah, that's what she's always told me. But so obviously, we've never had clashings per se. It's never like mad arguments. There's been subtle moments where you can be like,
Really?
I kind of feel your vibe, but at the same time, you're probably going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's just the case. It's just the case of me trying to like slow down and be like, no, actually, I think what will happen is at the moment I'm not thinking thoroughly enough because like my daughter's not here yet. But when she's born, it'll be a whole different scenario because you'll actually be holding, looking, and
You'll
going.
deep it and be like, yeah, no, this is it. Like this is
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And it's something I've not really thought about throughout the whole process due to past things, which I won't delve into on here. But it's just I love it to pieces. I adore the fact that we've got a family, and I wouldn't do anything to jeopardize that in a sense.
No.
So if it was a choice between the band and my family,
It's not a
I
choice.
think we know the direction I'll take.
It's not a choice.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah. So, okay. So to I guess to kind of delve a little bit deeper into this kind of category. So, because so obviously you've, by all means, you can tell us you don't want to talk. So, on the notes, because obviously I know you're not much of a drinker anymore, right? Because
No.
you
This is the conversation you and I had when you asked me to be on the podcast. He was like, people drink if they want to drink. If you don't drink, that's fine. And obviously, I told you that I'm not really drinking anymore because of how bad it got.
Yeah. Okay, but like by all means, you don't want to talk about it, just say. But like, so when you say how bad it got, what do you mean in a summarized kind of way?
You blacking out every day, not really thinking about the consequences. You not even knowing what you're doing in those situations. To wake up and find out that you've done some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And it kind of just, and you're drinking out of necessity, and since like you just want to constantly
would you say it felt like it was like a sport? It was like you were just doing it because you could do it, rather than people drink for like leisure, pleasure, like social aspects. You were doing it just for like you said, the necessity, the sake of doing it.
So originally it started as a crutch for like anxiety.
Makes
So
sense,
like
yeah.
I wasn't really socially, I was always socially anxious, and it was a case of when I drink, I'm not like I'm quite open, quite like lively and stuff. So I was like, oh cool, I'll keep doing it. But then it got to the point of bad things were happening, so then I was like, oh, I'll just have a drink. It moves it out.
Yeah.
And obviously, the more bad things that happen, the more you start to pick up the drink, the more you just like,
it became like a destructive sort of cycle in that sense. It was hard to, it was hard because something was happening because of this, and to make this go away, you do this and then rinse and repeat. Like it was hard to break the cycle in that sense.
Yeah. It's like I've gotten better. I've definitely gotten better. I can pick and choose when I drink. There's definitely no booze in the house. That wasn't even agreed. It was just sort of,
if I'm gonna make this big step or I'm gonna make this change, it's like that is a good place to start. Yeah.
But it was one of those things where it wasn't really discussed. It was just it's happening. You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And I only really drink socially in terms of if I'm out with the boys, like the band.
Yeah.
And even then, I can pick and choose when to have a drink, which I think I've got more of a control over. But I still prefer not to, just in case.
But that's still your, like, you've still got the control, like you said, to pick and choose. Where I know a lot of people where it's like, for them it's just like, it's they can't, recognize. Like some of them still haven't recognized, even with friends, family telling them. It's difficult for people to see sense until they, until the penny drops, or however you want to word it, and it's like, or like you've referred to, not going to go into it, like you've referred to like bad things have happened, until those things have happened to them, and they're like, you know what, like I think this person's got a point. I don't want this to happen
I
anymore.
recognize the thing is I recognize delving too deep, because of a situation that I won't delve into
Yep.
due to personal matters, but also my uncle, like he was a heavy alcoholic,
Yep.
and it wasn't until you get older and you start drinking yourself that you start to go, I recognize the signs that people are telling me. I recognize that I'm becoming like you, and as much as I love you, that's not the road I want to go down.
I don't want to go down that path.
Sure, yeah. But so, okay, so as well, like we've got this written on here. Do you think that being part of the kind of music scene you're in didn't help that situation? Because I feel like especially in like rock music, you kind of people kind of widely associate it as like that rock star lifestyle.
The music never affected it per se. Like it wasn't anything. I mean, what really stopped me drinking at shows, like when I do live performances, is we played at the O2 Academy in Islington, and that is one of my worst shows because I had about 9, 10 beers before I went on stage. Never do that. Don't ever do that.
Fucking hell.
Like
Yeah.
I forgot almost everything I was ever doing.
That's a
Like
proper.
all the songs we've heard for months. I forgot.
That's a proper pre-drink start, and then to go on to like keep the composure to perform.
It wasn't even keeping the composure because I don't know if there's a video somewhere, but I remember it in my head, like stepping forward to perform, forgetting the bars, and then automatically stepping back. If you're doing a live show, never ever ever step back because it shows the audience that something's wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas lately, I'm better at picking up on the mistakes. Like you can forget lyrics with the amount of lyrics that are in the songs electively. You're trying to think of, right, what's that going to say next? What do I have to say next? Like you're not really thinking about the crowd per se.
Yeah.
I'm more thinking about what I have to say, which then gets me to a point of, oh shit, next bar I forgot. But then Zach picks it up. But you carry on as if like you're still doing it.
Yeah.
That wasn't me that day. I literally dropped the ball, fucked up hard, and we both decided, no, we're not doing that. No more drinks.
Okay. Okay. So, sorry, I'm gonna throw this in there. So you just said we both decided.
Both in terms of like me and Zach, because obviously Zach's my right hand man. He can see it all. He's standing next to me. He can see what's happening.
Yeah.
And that's when it was decided that I can see the hole you're going down. Let's not do that.
So did he call you up on it?
I wouldn't say he called me up per se. It was more myself doing it, and he sort of just went, "Yeah, like I know where you're coming from. I know what was happening." He kind of didn't stop it himself, and it was also down to the fact that we're playing the O2. Now, for a second show, that's kind of
huge.
You kind of hype yourself up, and I think we just hyped ourselves up too much to the point of, if we were ever to play that show again, you best know that we're coming correct.
Yeah. Because So was it a case of like you were drinking for nerves? Would you say?
I was drinking for a lot of reasons that day. My ex literally texted me the moment I was going on stage to start an argument. That also didn't help things.
No.
So it was a lot of factors into it, like emotionally, as well as just trying to drown out the nerves.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, because that is like a big old fucking venue as well. Like that is like quite a bit. Like especially for your second show, you've been like thrown so far into the fucking deep end. Like because that is like what that like the O2 Islington. That's at least like what? How many people does that hold?
Well, you've got to bear in mind there's an upstairs and downstairs, and obviously we played the upstairs, so
Right.
it's a decent enough capacity, but it's definitely nothing like the downstairs.
Right.
But even just holding the name O2 Islington, you get yourself hyped up because you're just like O2. They're one of the biggest.
It's not quite a fiddler's elbow. It's like it's like almost like a few tiers above. It's like you can tell someone I played at the O2, I performed at the O2. People bought tickets to see me at the O2. It's like that's still like that carries some clout with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then Okay, so I guess following on from that, because you say about the O2 holding like value because of what it is. Have you got any like dream venues that like you're like, right, like once I've played this venue, I've made it type thing?
Yes and no. Obviously, the band's vision has shifted. Like we went round playing the pub circuit, and now it's more of a case like we actually want to play venues. We have played some venues, but I'm talking proper major venues, which is doable. But it's just a case of we now have to shift our focus in terms of right. If we're going to do this, we got to come with a good live show, and we got to come with a good band behind us.
Right. But so what's the
But
dream venue?
I can't like tell you a dream venue per se because there isn't. Obviously, playing the O2 Stadium is up there, but in my head, I'm looking for achievable goals. So I'm not going to turn around to you and be like, "Yo, I want to play Wembley," because that's not in the eyesight yet.
Right.
You just want to keep. You just want to keep like leveling up to a point like at your own sort of realistic progression where you think you realistically can take it. Like everyone would love to perform. The big venues, the big major venues, but not everyone is going to. So it's like I guess keeping it.
Yeah, I mean, like I could say,
I
if I listed
with
the
that.
O2 Ali Pali, but
Yeah.
realistically, I know at this precise moment that's not in our levels.
Yeah.
So I've got to be realistic to myself, and it's not even like out in myself because I know the levels that we've got.
Yeah.
It's just more about let's do the level we're at.
Let's do the tangible goals before we think about the sort of holistic, like ambitious goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do exactly that.
Yeah, and to be fair, Thomas, I would disagree with that. Everyone would like love to play Wembley. I think especially
it's a generalization. Like everyone, not just when everyone would like to obviously perform at the big venues. Everyone wants to sell out arenas. Everyone wants to do that. Because why wouldn't you? But like at the end of the day, like not everyone. My point was not everyone is going to. So it's good.
No, definitely not.
It's good to keep that in mind as well.
I would say, especially for England and being in that genre of music, I think the O2 in Brixton is like an iconic fucking venue that those kind of bands do actually, mate. Okay, what the fuck was that? Okay, that was a. What? Okay.
Josh, man, I knew what it was clearly because it's not like he told us before we went live that this could happen. Yeah. So I read the messages. Don't worry, Josh doesn't. Little.
Right now, bug me out. Fuck you.
You're a donut. It was so obvious.
Bro, do you know what it sounded like? right? You know those old war museums with the fucking World War II sirens?
No, you've not
said. That's what I thought, and I'm like, oh my god.
An air raid siren. You're such a you'd be a great dad. You. Come here, you little air raid siren, and just unbelievable. Unbelievable, guys. We've got another special guest. Welcome in.
Special guest. Welcome in.
Oh, Josh, you've killed me there. I can't believe you. I can't believe you.
Oh, it's like the air raid siren.
You've compared a child's cry for attention or cry for whatever to an air raid siren. Never in my life.
Mate, it's just a tism, isn't it? Like, fucks you up.
But
man.
Yeah.
Hi Twitch, hi YouTube.
Yeah.
What were you saying about O2 Brixton? Iconic venue for the genre of music.
Yeah, dude. So like O2 Brixton is for me where I've seen some of my favourite shows. Like ever. Weirdly enough, I would genuinely say arguably my favorite live show I've ever seen was it just seemed to walk away with a kid ass. so weird to me, man. I grew up with this man. You know what I mean? Like I grew up with him, and he.
You're
You know what I
gushing,
mean?
yeah. Man's got kids,
Man.
yeah. You're happy.
So,
Go on,
yeah,
continue,
no, I love that.
continue. Favorite show. What you
So,
said, OT Brixton.
yeah.
I think you were alluding to.
Yeah, so it's tongue to. Oh, he's not tongue to us. Okay. So me and Nate saw Bring Me the Horizon at Brixton, and it was fucking
When was this?
insane.
Was this recent or like a little while back?
No, bro. This was legitimately like 11 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Like it was a fucking long time ago, and it was like it was honestly like one of my favorite gigs I've ever been to, like in my fucking life. It was amazing because. So sorry, I can see Nate's got his microphone muted, and that is so funny. And the kid is just like pointing at us, like that is so wholesome.
Who are they?
Yeah. So we'd gone to this gig, see Bring Me the Horizon, and we were very much like new fans to the band.
I was going to say you would have been what 18, around 18 then. So
no, what less than that?
You say 11 years ago. Wait, how old are you now? You're 29.
No, wait. Sorry, no, it was 20.
The math isn't mathing.
I think it was 2013.
Okay.
2013. The Sirens, boy.
Yeah. Then would have
It's
been
on my
18.
YouTube. That's why I know this, but you will never find it because I privatized it.
So we would have been like barely 18, and so yeah, we'd gone to go.
Sounds good to me.
So we'd gone to see Bring Me the Horizon, and tickets for like 22 quid, right?
Are we saying that's a lot or not a lot?
No. Right, when I compare them to when I last saw them, not including tomorrow when I see them, when I paid like 90 quid to see them.
That how much you paid? Like,
is that when you bumped into me and my friend?
Yeah. Right.
They weren't cheap, bro. And we were sitting.
Yeah, they were so good. So we'd gone to Brixton to go see this band that really we'd only just started to like get into.
Yeah, why not?
You introduced me to Bring Me through their Serpenternal album, and it was Sleepwalking that really caught me.
Yeah.
And I was listening to that on repeat. I was fully ADHD mode listening to that.
Yeah. It was so like I honestly I will say this with my chest out. One of the top 3 rock metal albums ever produced. I will say that with my chest out. I don't think you will ever find an album that just.
Wait, what was that? I might have missed it. What was the name of the album?
Sempiternal. It's called.
Okay.
It's fucking incredible. So this is really funny. So like I said, we were really quite new to them, but we dressed not quite the way you probably should.
Oh, this no. You said you were gonna bring this up. Yeah.
So, this show is great, and I love it. So we rock up to Brixton. We go in the Wetherspoons. We have like 1-2 pints, like because we're like we're 18 now. We can fucking drink. Go to gig in it. Right. And so I don't remember precisely what Nate was wearing, but I remember I had a pair of chinos on, just like a t-shirt and like a blue zip-up Adidas jacket and a pair of Jordans.
Swaggy boy.
Yeah, but you kind of wore similar when we went to see Day to Remember in Leeds.
Yeah.
Like you were booted and suited kind of thing.
Yeah. So we get in the queue at the O2, and there's tons of goths, bruv. There's fucking loads of them, right?
Wow, you just looked out of place.
Yeah.
You did not. You did not read the dress code requirements.
Yeah, no, straight up, right? So like I said, so I'm wearing a pair of like beige chinos. Nate's wearing a pair of jeans. You were also wearing a pair of Jordans, I think, as well, and like a Nike hoodie, and like all these fucking goths and emos are like coming up to us in the line, and they're like, "Oh, are you sure you're at the right place?" And we're like,
"That's jokes."
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would it be? What's wrong with what we're wearing, cuz?
Yeah.
Our fits are cold, and then you realise that everyone else was proper like.
Everyone else is like. Everyone else is and
Like
it's really weird.
like sore thumbs, like sore fucking thumbs.
no, literally, and it's really weird because now the gigs aren't like that.
Are they like how you used? Are they like how you used to dress? Like, what are they like now?
No. So because now they're a lot more mainstream,
Okay.
that people just wear whatever. But like back then when we saw them,
Hardcore
we were
fans.
basically, mate, we were basically dressed like chavs. Is personally how I would say it, right?
Fair. That's a fair assessment.
And like, and so there's all these emos like with like the chains hanging from their belts. They've all got like black eyeliner on, shit like that.
I can't imagine you wearing any of that. I'm gonna be real. Like, not there's anything wrong with it. Like, you know, people that fuck with that, like that's up to them. But I just couldn't imagine you wearing it.
No, but because for me and Nate, we were just like, oh, we're going to watch a show, like a band that we like, right?
So night
And
out,
like,
innit? You're going out, and it's like, yeah.
Literally, and so we didn't think, so we didn't think anything of it, so we just rocked up, and then like people would join the queue and like looking at us, like,
being like, what are you doing?
yeah, and then I was like, we actually like stand out.
We've royally fucked this, yeah. We have royally fucked this one.
Like so much, like it was unreal, and like the only thing I can assume is I assume people thought because we weren't dressed the same that we must have been like taking the piss or something, but it was like, no, like we're here for it.
I mean, how much did you say you paid for tickets? What, 22 each? That's
like £22.50. Like
I don't know if I'd pay 22 quid just to go there and like openly like mock a band or like, you know, try and make a statement. Like that's, I'd rather save the money and do it at home if I had to.
So it was like our first proper gig, for that genre.
Virgins.
Right. No, not like first gig ever.
I know, but in that sense, it was like they looked to you like these guys, like they don't know that. All these hardcore goth, like they don't know that. They're thinking, fucking hell, I remember my first gig.
Mental.
They're killing you. They are killing you. That's funny, man.
And it was such a good gig as well. I'm not sure if you remember a lot of it, Nate.
No.
Do you remember when they did a Wall of Death and we didn't know what it was?
That fucking scares me. I think I've heard of that.
You remember?
Yeah.
So it was John.
Yeah, because for a long time I did not even approach a mosh pit.
Yeah. So whereas me now, I fucking love mosh pit. But so okay. So Thomas says this one song they do. It's really fucking heavy.
Yeah.
And they do a thing called a Wall of Death. Me and Nate never been to like a rock metal gig before, so we didn't know what the fuck was going on. All of a sudden, bruv, right? He points at the middle of the venue because it's a big venue, right? It's got to be a few thousand people, surely, right? Nate,
we still on about O2 Brixton, yeah.
Brixton, yeah. It's got it has to be a few thousand. Has to be.
Not 100% sure. I can't even look it up either, but I'm sure we can find out.
Yeah, it has to be. And so it was fucking slammed. It was sold out, right? And so he stood in the middle of the stage, and it was like, right, it's time to fucking open this up. And we were like,
I'm looking. We're talking what O2 Academy Brixton.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the. I've just googled it. An internationally renowned, award-winning venue, O2 Academy Brixton, can be hired as a concert space for events with a capacity up to 4,921.
Yeah, it's massive.
Or as a fully, I'm imagining it wasn't seated at all, but as a fully seated format for 2,000. Oh no, there's a fully seated format for 2,315.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or if it's like for a concert or event, it can be just short of 5k. That's a lot of bodies.
See, I told you it was a lot. And like I said, bear in mind, this is like our first gig like this. But so anyway, so the lead singer stands in the middle of the stage and goes, right, we're going to fucking open this up. And he points straight down the middle of the fucking room. And is like, right, if you're the left side of my arm, push back to the fucking wall.
Yeah.
If you're on the right side of my arm, push back to the fucking wall, right?
What did you not do?
No, bro, you didn't have a fucking choice. Like, you didn't have a choice.
Oh, you just engaged. Like, you weren't like going. You just did it. Like,
yeah, no, brother. As in, everyone is moving. Like, you can't not. You have to go.
Yeah, you're getting moved. You're either moving by choice, like willingly, or you're just moving regardless.
Yeah. And then he's like, right. He's like, fucking stay there until the breakdown. Dude, we didn't know what the fuck was happening. We didn't know what was happening. We're just like, there's just a massive walkway in the middle of the fucking venue, bro. Right? So they're playing, the breakdown comes in. Everyone is fucking swinging hands, bruv. Right? Everyone is like, the left side has charged into the right side. Everyone's fucking throwing hands. Me and Nate are like, what the fuck is going on? Fucking, like, it was mental. We didn't know what the fuck was happening. But now I've experienced it multiple times. I'm like, I fucking love that shit. Like, I'm there. I'm fucking swinging, bro.
But the first time was like, I don't know, how would you describe it? Like a little bit of an eye opener, a bit traumatic, or just it's like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, fucking scary, bro. Like, because I think towards the end of the set list, we were like, right, we're going to try a mosh pit. Like, we're going to get in to the big fucking circle where everyone's just throwing themselves into each other.
Was it your first, like, mosh pit for this genre, or first, like, mosh pit overall? Like, have you moshed before?
No.
I don't think there were mosh pits for other genres at that point.
No, there's not. That's not a thing. It's only for that genre. Like,
people just get. I was a student, so like my experience of it, people would just start moshing for no reason, and security would just kick them out. It's just people wanted to push each other. It wasn't a proper mosh, but no, I was just curious.
But then it wasn't until we got into the mosh pit, so we were like, actually, like it might look like chaos, but everyone like is really like looking out for each other. Because if I remember correctly, Nate, I think you went arse over tit. One of them, and like 3 people just like fucking like pulled you up and like just carried on. Like
that also happened at Ali Pali, and my brother got fucking thrown to the ground, and then very quickly everyone stopped and picked him up and did it again.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like they pick you up, just like up and down you go. But as long as they keep picking you up, it's all right.
Yeah, but dude, it was mental. And then
I think that was an eye opener for me, because it was one of the moments where I was like, you know, when you have this judgment of people, it's like, I've heard a lot of things. Obviously, at that point, I was a very much grind hip hop head, so you don't really listen to much rock metal.
Yeah.
So you have a perception of people, and obviously you go there and you're like, well, this perception is all wrong.
Yeah. What was your perception going into that? Like, what was your perception going into that?
You fucking sweaty goths. You fucking have a fucking bath. Fucking, why are you wearing fucking chains for? Why are you wearing eyeliner for, you fucking weirdo? Like, one of them.
So that's Josh's perception. What was your perception, Nate, of, was it about the same, or?
It was more violent. Like, you're not very nice people. You're just, like, really into... I know I'm saying you and your, but obviously...
No, you're generalising, yeah. Because that's what it was. You were generalising a group of people, maybe off of, like, some limited information you had or what you'd heard, And now,
pretty much.
Now, what's your perception of them? Or
my perception of them is I'm in a new metalish band, so you're kind of like, well, I am you people.
Yeah,
I am one of them.
Yeah, I am him. You are him.
And the fact that our band is Entity is like, we are one.
Yeah. How did that? I was meaning to ask sooner. How did that, like, name come about? Like, whose idea was it for the name, or was it sort of like, you know, collective in that sense?
So we originally were called 8 Years Later, and when I say 8 years later, we were 8YRS LTR.
Okay.
And the number 8, not EI. But we were then talking to the producer at that point, who was helping us make the music. Yeah. And something he said within the conversation made Zach turn around and go, "That's it, NTT, entity."
He said, because I was going to ask, like, how did NTT, like, obviously it's a sort of like a hyphenated shorter version of entity, the word, but he literally said NTT there and then, and that's how it came about.
Yeah, he was very quick to the punch on that one. Yeah. Like, I must say, it was literally a conversation was had.
Thank fuck you're not called 8 years. Thank fuck you're not called 8 years later, because that is a shit name. That is.
Why 8 years? I'm more intrigued about 8 years later now, because I like the name entity, like what it entails. But like, what 8 years later? Why was that Why was that up for consideration? Why was that the sort of provisional name?
When we started the project originally, me and Zach had been working and known each other for about 8 years. So 8 years on, we were now doing this. It was a new chapter in our music careers.
I don't know if I'd feel about that. And when I hear stuff like that, I think of like the SpongeBob thing was like 10 years later.
10 years later.
There is also that.
Yeah.
But there was a case of when you read the name out and when you hear the name, it's not so much of it's a disappointment. It's it doesn't fit the genre.
I mean, it's not Entity. Like, let's be real. It's not like you could have had that, which you could have made work and, you know, like been remotely successful, like with the name in the namesake. But then, like, yeah, you've just found a better name for the band. Like sometimes you just
and obviously we found the name very quickly in terms of the whole recording process. Like we were recording songs without even a name. I think we were like 5-6 songs deep before Entity came about.
That reminds me when I was a student, when I'd write essays before writing a title. It's like, yeah, because I don't know what the essay is going to be about, but we'll write the essay, and then whatever it's about, that will be the title. I don't know if it's the same sort of process for songwriting, but
it can vary with songwriting. To be fair, so songwriting, yeah, you can not like you want to you have the idea of writing something. Like, there's something on your mind, but you can't quite figure out what it is, so you write it, and then you go, "Oh, that's the concept. Sick. That's what it's called."
Yeah.
Or other times, you hear a word, and you go off that word, and then you create a whole concept behind it.
And you make it fit. I was going to say, like, what do you feel like you tend to lean towards more? Do you tend to write stuff and, you know, see what you come up with at the end and then sort of make a title to fit that? Or do you, like, come up with either a word, title name, or, like, a concept and write around that? What do you feel like you lean towards more? Or is it a bit of both?
We give up with titles.
Yeah.
So our demo track. So the album in talks for the longest time was called Track 1, Track 2, Track 3, and so on.
Original.
Like, we never actually had titles.
Original.
And now that we've obviously added titles to them, it's become a lot easier to differentiate. But for a long time, whilst we was getting the titles together, it was still like, oh, is that Track 1? Is that Track 4? I can't remember which one's which.
Yeah.
Whereas now we demo tracks, and like we got a demo called Nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's never going to stay as Nostalgia. It's going to change.
Yeah.
But that is what the track's called at the moment.
No, that's fair enough. I didn't know if you like guys had like not like a formalized process, but like I guess some people just have their sort of preferences. It's like right, you know, title. That's the title. We're gonna write for the title. But I think I personally feel like I'm not much of a creative in that sense, but I feel like I'd like to do something like with our podcast, for instance. That's the only thing I'd probably explain best. Like we talk about what we talk about. We have like some talking points, a bit of an itinerary, and then whatever ends up, you know, being spoken about, i.e., whatever we can clickbait the fuck out of, we'll put in the title and just be like, you know, we'll just go from there. Like I know sometimes I can literally hear Josh's little cogs whirring where he's like thinking of like titles like on the fly. It's like right, we can use that in the title. We can use that in the title. I feel like it's definitely easier because I say like sometimes it can be harder to actually come up with the content or, you know, write the lyrics in this case than it is to come up with a title. Or I could be completely wrong. Like I guess, you know, it depends on the artist.
So again, in terms of how Entity writes, because I write so much material on a day-to-day basis, or not even on a day-to-day basis per se, but Nate alone has amassed over 200, 300 songs written, but hasn't recorded near enough that much. But it would tend to be a case of I've written something, I then approach Zach, and then Zach will either write to it or we'll do something else. But it always tends to be the case of majority of the time. So like 8 out of 10 times, I'm the one to kickstart a song.
Fair enough. Why do you, I was going to say a quick one. Why do you feel that is, or is that just how it's always worked?
That's the way it started at the start. So a lot of the tracks you hear, so like Monster, for example, my verse was actually written at that point 6 years prior.
Yeah.
So it was originally already an old song.
Okay, no. So
what were you going to say, Josh? Sorry.
No. So I was gonna ask. So you say about writing a lot. So what does the notes app in your phone look like? That must be a mess. There must just be.
Georgia asked me this the other day, and I turned around and said, on this current phone, bearing in mind this is only goes back to easy.
Right.
Bearing in mind this phone only goes back to 2020, maybe 2020, and I've already got like 750 notes on there.
Are they all just like? Are they all just like? Are they all just like lyrics? Would you say mainly?
Majority of them are either full songs or verses that I will record for other people,
Right.
or otherwise they're just random shit. You know,
Do you not think that makes you respect kind of like the old school musicians more that used to, they had to, used to use black and white ink to, to really put their thoughts down. It wasn't a case of like, oh shit, it wasn't a case of like, oh, I'm in Tesco, just thought of this fucking bar, I'm gonna type into my phone real quick. Oh god, he's getting attacked. He's getting attacked. Bro.
So when I first started writing rhymes, I actually used a pen and paper, and then when phones became more of a thing, so like I had lyrics on Blackberries, I had lyrics on Simpsons, Google Pixels.
Yeah.
They're all lost.
Yeah.
Which is why I now stick to an iPhone, because I can connect each and every Apple product together.
Do you have any? Okay, so in that case, of all you've got,
are you telling me there's just some bangers? There's just some bangers just in the abyss somewhere, like they're just out there, just there somewhere. Someone has them somewhere. Like I refuse to believe it. They're somewhere.
So is there any that come to the front of your mind when you're thinking, fucking hell, I can't believe I've lost that?
Particularly no, but there is a situation where I wrote a verse, and in my head I was like, "This is gonna sound so sick. This is a wicked song. This is gonna be a wicked song." And instead of saving it, I accidentally deleted it at that point.
Oh, painful.
No. Because you've just written it, my mind isn't remembering everything correctly. So you're trying so hard to remember what the bars were, and you're getting it wrong. So then you just give up.
Yeah, it's not taking the time to end up in the sort of long term because it's fresh. It's like literally that fresh. It's like, damn, I've not even had the time to look at it enough for it to end up being ingrained into the memory.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's kind of, I'd imagine it's kind of like dreams, right? So when you sleep and you have a dream, and you only remember it for maybe like 5 minutes when you wake up. And
do you know how many times I've written songs in my dreams?
That must be so annoying.
Dream writing.
Jarring. No, bro, you know how annoying that is? Because unless you've slept, and like you slept with a pen and paper in your hand, as soon as you wake up, you've forgotten it. It's gone, bro. It's gone. It's gone.
It's one of those situations where you don't always remember your dreams, but if you're not really asleep, you wake up and you're like, "Yo, that was crazy. That was a banger. That was a vibe. That was," and then you're like, "Oh wait, no, what?"
Yeah.
All in my head.
Or you start to write, or you've got like ideas in your head before you fall asleep, and you drift off. You're like, "I'll remember that in the morning." You don't.
Yeah. No, you never do. Never do. But then, so recent, like as of lately, it's in like the last like really few months where I've been really working out. I've realized that I've been able to really like power think is what I call it a lot better. So like if there's a goal I want to achieve, so to be fair, so I do it a lot with this podcast.
I was gonna say he sometimes like does this, like he'll randomly, because he knows I'm working, sometimes I'm not always at my phone, so I think that must like accelerate the power thinking a bit more, because then I come onto Discord or like Twitter, and then there's a few bullet points, man sending me little bullet points. It's like, right, we need this done then, what do you think of this, what do you think of this, I know you're busy at work replying at your own time, and now I've started replying in the same way. Yep, this is good, we'll look into that. Yeah, I can do this date and time. It's like he's got a little brain on him this year. He's evolving.
But we do that in the band as well. We end up just throwing ideas out, and a lot of the time they just get lost because the chat is obviously 3-4 people just all chatting at once. So trying to keep hold of one little snippet is very hard.
Do you ever consider
But-
getting into spreadsheets? Because we had that with like loads of funny shit that we'd send each other. And I've made a content cooler. It's like a wine cooler, but no wine. But there's like content links that we'd react to.
I can sit here and safely tell you now that there are 2-3 Google documents of plans and schedules of what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Do we follow them?
Fair enough.
No, that's fair.
Well, we have lists of songs that we've written, are going to write, are in the middle of being written. Are they recorded? Are they finished, mastered? Do they need a video or a visualizer? Like, it's all planned out and legitimately did it have covers. And I think we got 2 pictures.
Yeah.
Might have been pictures, and we just never picked up.
I was gonna say if you didn't have any spreadsheets sorted, I would have happily done spreadsheets for you. But if the sort of infrastructure's in place, but the results, it's not, going any further than the spreadsheet, then I'm sorry to say.
Bearing in mind,
you're
you're dealing with a couple of ADHD people, so like you've got all these ideas happening.
Oh mate, I am massive tism. Like I was fucking. As a kid, I was massive tism. Like I struggle sometimes to make eye contact with people. Even now, like I was itchy, like the kid that would like jump up and down, and like it was really weird. It was, I don't know why it's gone on this tangent, but I would jump up and down and like flap my arms with just like massive autism. And my mum,
You still do that now? You can. You still do that now.
You need shooting, you do.
I don't know if Josh ever saw that side of me, but I used to.
Yeah.
I loved lists. I had a weird obsession with lists, like especially like flags. I would remember like flags. Like I would be obsessed with like sort of. It wasn't like irrelevant information. It can be quite helpful, but I was when I was
information.
Like your birthday.
Information. Yeah.
So like I was fixated on like just specific stuff, and yeah, that was definitely all part of being on the spectrum. So like as far as that goes, it's like maybe I could do some spreadsheets, but I can't help you like getting together and actually piecing pieces of puzzles together. I feel like that's a you problem. I'm sorry.
No, if I was sat here with Zach or Jim, they would both probably tell you that Nate just sprouts a lot of shit. Like, it's literally just, oh, right, he's just sent a message. Oh, no, shit. He's quickly sent another message because his brain's just going off on a tangent, and now he's sending another message. What is going on?
Yeah. No, but
because it's like,
you don't want to lose it. It's like if you get it out there, it's like, right, it's there now. You don't have to remember it because there's like a record of it somewhere, and then you free up space for more things to put into the group chat.
Yeah, but even I look back on it and I go, what the fuck was that? So like recently, I put in the group chat and it was like, right, have we uploaded the song yet? Yeah. Oh, wait, by the way, guys, are we now doing a video? Oh, wait, no, guys, what are we doing for the next song? Oh, wait, guys, are we in the studio soon to rehearse? Oh, wait, no, guys, are we also writing new music? It's like so many subjects and so little time. Everyone's brain is just like...
Everyone's like, what are you saying? Please. Yeah, what is going on? Is this real? No, fair enough. It's just like you'd rather like say, if you're thinking about something, whether it's a concept, an idea, you'd rather say it and, either get shut down or people might actually get on board with it. Like you'd rather say it than just like keep it there, because you never know. You could say something, it's like, oh yeah, no, that's really sick, but say like, yeah, I guess sometimes with you or like your sort of industry and profession, then I guess there's a lot of things that you want to do, but then I guess there's so many things you want to do. It's about juggling them.
We are heavily restricted in some senses. So we can have all these ideas under the sun, but then it comes back to money. Like, do we have enough money to spend on this?
It's always money.
And all right, it's cool. Zach now owns a studio. Like, he has his own studio. Yeah. Sick, good business. But it's then when do we have now time to do all this?
Yeah. See, do you know what? It's I honestly, I know it's sounds silly to say. I feel like money is the biggest vice in life.
It is.
Like
100%.
So, like even with this project with Thomas, we some of the stuff that we've planned on doing and stuff like that, like in the future, and it's like imagine how much more you can do with with money coming in.
Literally,
Like,
last episode, right? Some guy in the chat was calling out my microphone. Now, I personally don't think there's anything that wrong with my microphone, but because Josh is a recent owner of a new mic, and we had a guest
you were going to call me a rich cunt then, didn't you? You were going to say rich cunt, weren't you? You was.
No, the thing is, you know what the beauty of it is? I didn't need to because you already said it. So that's how that shows where I'm at. But no, in general, like Josh had bought a new mic recently. He also full sent a GoPro. The kid's mad, and like our guest that we had on, big UK Twitch streamer, had a really good mic, and then it just highlights how not amazing my mic is, but it still does a job. So eventually, I will get a new mic. But yeah, like if money wasn't an issue, like sky's the limit for a lot of people. It's like, but because there's that sort of barrier. And I feel like for a lot of people, even if they're in the game, it's still difficult. But think about people that, think about the barrier for entry for someone that, let's say if they want to, that is nice. If they want to become like, start a band or become an artist, for them, barrier to entry might be like, right, I've got to pay for this equipment. Maybe I have to pay for this software. Maybe I have to pay for like studio time here if I don't have like a mate that has like his own studio or something like that. Like the barrier of entry for a lot of things, for a lot of people is like, it can be quite high. So yeah, imagine if that was all sort of erased. Like, I think it would be fascinating to see like what people come up with.
Well, we would be so far ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying in terms of like other bands and stuff, but I mean like where we want to be
now. Yeah.
Would be first. Yeah. Because obviously, like equipment wise, for live shows is also very expensive because of the shit you need. So like you need in-ears, you need monitors, mics if you want to go down that route, and we're going down the road of wireless microphones because I'm very clumsy. I will trip over.
No, I hate playing Pokemon Go on my phone on charge. I like having it like off charge. I just feel restricted by the wires. Like even these headphones now, like they keep like going under my chair, and I keep having to untuck it without yanking the whole thing out. Like, I hate wires.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah. So as I said, I've literally got a GoPro delivered today. I full sent it yesterday.
He asked me, should I get a GoPro? It'd be good for the podcast. Like I said, I don't always get to my phone by the time he's already made a decision. He's like, by the time I've got to, he's like, fuck it, I full sent it. I've just got a GoPro. I think it'll be good for the brand. I'm like, yeah, cheers for my input.
We've already said like this year is going to be like the year where we build, like we really build a name for us.
This is the year of like, this is the year of just like building a foundation rather than being like this. We may not look like this. I'll say not us as people, but like, the brand or like the content or anything may not look like this in a year's time. But that's where building the foundation comes in. Yeah. So we can actually.
Listen, if you want to talk about foundations, go listen to Entity Foundations.
Yeah, you got shout out to them. Yeah, we'll link up.
Cheeky plug. We'll definitely put the link if you guys are watching back on YouTube. Yeah. It will be below. Everything will be below. Don't worry.
No, but it stems from like the same aspect. Like obviously, starting out, you want to build something fresh, going upwards, and it's even funny that we keep saying fresh because the name of my like Zach studio is Fresh Fusion. So there's always like little things to meld together. And I know for a fact that if you're sitting here in January going, by the end of the year, we want to be in this place, if you continue to send it, you never know where you're going to be.
You don't want to be looking at next January and be like, but with the same goals. You know, there's people that have the same goals, and it's like, you know what, the goal might have just taken a little bit longer to achieve. That's fine, but then you have to be honest with yourself and think, did I do as much as I could have done, or everything in my sort of power capacity, financial restrictions or whatever? Did I do everything I possibly could to make that goal happen? If the answer is no, then you fully just waited a year. That might as well have not been a target. Like if you weren't fully committed to sending it. I feel like we're going to say that a lot now. If you weren't committed to sending it, then it might as well have not been a goal in the first place. Yeah. If you want something that bad, I thought I'm gonna throw out a lot of cliches. If you want something that bad, you're gonna do everything it takes to get it. Like, otherwise, there's no point in wanting it. Like, everyone wants something.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained, and all that. That's the motto for the band.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So like I said, the reason why I bought this. So Thomas lives like 150 miles.
You should
like
know.
up north from
You
me.
should. You should know. You have the little cooldown chart to check how long it takes to go on my account, Monka TOS.
And
yeah, give or take.
So part of the reason why we started the cast is because we don't fucking see each other, right? So we get to fucking hang out. So we get to hang out, have a beer. But weirdly, this year has turned into actually, I'm going to see him quite like a lot. So I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, shut up, you nut pussy. So
pussy. You're gonna call me a nonce, but they call me a pussy because pussy is more family friendly than nonce. Yeah.
No, I wasn't going to call you a nonce. No, I wasn't going to call you a nonce because there's a child nearby. That's
okay,
why.
so you feel like you'd educate your children with pussy rather than.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I would like to just point out she's currently watching Nightmare Before Christmas in the other room. So
that's what I'm saying.
Is it bad that I'm quite jealous and Eva loves Tim Burton? I want to watch some Tim Burton.
But so then I'm like, right, I'm going to see him like a decent amount. We're on this new thing. We're trying to put out extra content as well as the podcast. Yeah. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm just going to buy a camera so I can film like these weekends. Like, like we have to fucking do it.
Yeah. My cousin has said this to me before, like a while ago. I'm talking like, Go Fest in London. He was like...
Very slow in my mind. Like, I heard everything you said, but my brain just wasn't computing what you were saying. But yes. That is going to work.
Yeah. So in April is the European International Championships.
Yes.
For Pokemon. Yes. I've messaged you about this before, Nate, about potentially you, me, Thomas work on something together to do with the song, if you remember.
Yeah. But you never actually disclosed what dates, because obviously I'm away at the beginning of April.
Thomas, what's the dates for EUIC?
I want to say the EUIC dates are like, because it's a 3-day thing, it's like the 6th to the 8th, but like, it's that weekend. Like the 7th, 8th is the weekend, I want to say. Let me just double check. Yeah. Yo, Stacey,
that's the first week of April.
Huh?
That's the first week of April, yeah, if I remember correctly. I'll be able to look on Discord.
No, I hope not.
Let me have a look. I'll be able to tell. If Nate's screen goes black, guys, I do apologise because I'm just on Discord. No, you won't be able to see him now. You'll literally see me on Discord. One sec. We have a London 2024 channel, pinned post. Yeah. Oh, even worse. April 5th to the 7th. So it's April 5th to the 7th.
You're not going to be around, are you?
I'm literally away from the 5th to the 13th.
Oh. No. Right. Okay. Okay. Then we need to do something on the 4th. Is what I'm hearing.
To be fair, I am actually, because the 4th is the Thursday, ain't it? Now, anyone that's been to a Pokemon social in recent years, or i.e. the past year, knows that the Thursday socials are the best socials because you've got there's nothing to play. Yeah,
my pub.
Yeah, Josh does the pre-social before the social, so all the real piss heads that are there can actually get on it.
Get on it.
I'm actually embarrassed, like how drunk I got last time. It was only because I didn't do nothing mad there. It was the fact that I didn't know how to get home. I got lost around Canary Wharf and I had to ring my cousin up, and lucky he was around and he picked me up. And like he said, he was so drunk. I was like, I've never seen you that drunk. I was like, did I say anything? Like the next morning, I said, did I say anything mental? He was like, no. You just kept saying you wanted a kebab or like McDonald's or something. Wanted to full send a kebab, but no, for real though, we need to do something on that front in terms of
100%. Like I'm down. Like me and Thomas spoke about it as well. Like as soon as we heard the song, we're like, we need to record something for this. Like with Nate, like even if it's some kind of skit where you're like the serious like rapper, and like we're just like being knobheads, like it would try to fit in type thing. Like would just be fucking amazing.
That'd be some Lonely Island shit. It's because like Lonely Island actually fire, but people sleep on it just because of like it's about like I'm on a boat, brother. Like
I want to.
Yeah, but they've got some serious talent, like Andy Samberg.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're fucking good. So Stacey in chat asked, Thomas, how drunk are you? And I would like to say, first of all, Stacey, you were there.
You were there, Stacey. That's where we first met. Fucking hell!
Yeah,
I thought
it
we,
was literally when you met.
I thought I meant more to you than that. I'm gonna be honest. I thought,
Yeah, you literally were there when you met. He was pissed. So Thomas does this thing when he's drunk, where he doesn't say goodbye and just literally just fucks off.
I'll go. I ain't gonna say bye because listen, if I'm sober enough to say bye, I'm sober enough to be like, Barman,
Just stay and have
another beer. Yeah. If I've got to go, it's time to go in it.
It's time to go.
I've got to get out. I couldn't tell if Nate was
Yeah.
like frozen. He had me for a second now. I thought he was.
Yeah.
He had you for as well. Yeah. He was there like. But then I saw his left eye moving. I'm like, okay, yeah, he's not frozen. At first I thought it was Discord.
No, I was trying to see if there was a way for me to see chat, but I can't see chat. So.
That's fair. I know. It's just Quack coming in with the EYC. So the EYC dates, which is the shortened, abbreviated version of European International Championships, was the dates.
It's not shortened if you fucking say it anyway, you twat, is it? What's the point of saying it?
Because I was explaining what you said earlier, you fuck. Right, no, I was just saying, it was all chat has is the dates.
That's what I say, BRB, be right back.
Yeah.
I sometimes say that, I can't lie.
my man just said, which is the shortened version of, and then says the long version.
Listen,
you're
a long virgin. How about that?
Yeah, sure, mate. Fucking ask your mum, mate. How about that?
Yeah,
fucking...
she's a virgin as well. But anyway, moving on swiftly.
But yeah, I reckon we been going for like 2 hours, 10 minutes. It's fucking flown by, I'm not gonna lie. Feels like it's only been like 10, 15 minutes. Probably start to wrap it up because Nate's gonna be busy. Yeah, look, he's got his little buddy there. Which
we gotta go shop and buy some milk.
Gotta go shop, fair enough. Nate, so that link you sent from Entity, are we allowed to play it? And if so, how much? Give people.
You can play the full thing if you want, bro.
All right, Thomas, I sent you the link again.
Thomas drinking water. Brown Baller, can you behave, please?
Yo, Mr. Baller, what's going on? So, Thomas,
this is the new song that's coming out next week. Is that the link you're about?
Which one? Are we talking about the SoundCloud one?
Yeah, correct.
That is fine. I'm sorry if again, guys, if Nate's screen goes black, just because we're picking up his face cam through Discord, so it does tend to flicker. So bear with us on that one.
Yeah, I will apologise for this. My laptop decided to pack up last year, and
you're right.
So I've not been able to record anything.
No, you're good. So we're making it work. So it's been a good episode. Say like for you guys that are still here and been here from the beginning, say just big shout out to you guys. So we do appreciate all the support.
Love you all.
I will get the song up now. I don't need to sign in or anything like that, do I? It just plays. I forgot how SoundCloud works.
Okay, so Nate, do you want to talk us through this new song?
Yeah, that would.
The name, what's it about?
So this new Entity song is called Applause, and obviously we wrote it in terms of like just hyping ourselves up, being able to perform for live. What's wrong? Oh, sorry, bro. It's basically self-titled. It's basically just we deserve applause, kind of being like tacky, big-headed with it.
Fair enough.
Would you say it's like a cheeky sort of song, or it's like a it's like a full-on like like not a boastful, but like a confidence?
I can hear what you're saying, but I have a.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. He's tending to more important matters, guys. But we are going to get the song ready. Entity, Applause. Say Nightbot hasn't been on its job today, but we will put the link in the chat now. Let me just get that for you. Nate's sound is way louder than Thomas and Josh. Okay.
Also, when you played the intro song, I couldn't hear you. Hear it.
Oh no, that's what you couldn't hear the intro song. That's probably because we're playing it through Twitch. You wouldn't hear it through my because I muted my mic and everything, so there's no like feedback or anything like so it would play. It would play like on the live stream. The live stream would hear it. Because
No, yeah, no, that's why I just wanted to make sure because I didn't realize. I didn't know if I messed up.
No,
Let's switch. I want to mute myself in a second.
No, you're right. I'm gonna put the link to the song in the chat. If any of you, I'm hoping. Oh, it does that really long link. I hate it. So if you guys want to listen along in your own time as well, the link is there. But we are going to play it now. I'm going to unmute desktop audio. So if you guys talk, it will probably be double echoey. So if we can keep chit chat to a minimal, that'll be great. Right, guys, let's send it. Turn it up a little bit as well.
Time when you're feeling like you can't climb, forever stuck inside the same thing. You need a change of scenery. I'm sure the dreams within reach of some kind. Never in my life did I find myself be the one to crave attention or sell my worth. Maybe not sell, but cheapen it. All the songs are free, best believe in it. Help on tracks with 40 takes later. The takes didn't seem to get no greater, but I kept pushing through. Bit the wood to the glue and pin my foot on the accelerator. That is dropped on the face, so we got to change aside and reach and stop and create. And never that proves that we got what it takes to be rocking the crowd when we stage that. Watch us around us and playing minds, lost in the doubt that we aim higher to conquer the scene with the same guy. That's sort of changing me. We swore to make a scene, record the greatest dream. I bought the pain and screen. Now that they're ready to go live, it's showtime. Pay no mind, support the cause. Working to the bone for the crown and the water.
That's what I thought. Alright, man's used that one before. Can we get a little fun check? I don't know if you can hear us.
Way out of these speakers, there's a surefire way that we can reach these lofty heights, and we'll pay the price and make sure that we can pay our features. A lot of work goes on behind the scenes, even if it's way more than it really seems. Taking time on these tracks, they can be refined for a genre we can later help define. We have a dream to perform while the crowd roar. Fit back to the start, but we lack the vision, lack the reason to rap different. Zach, listen. We built this up from the ground floor, so let's keep going. Don't cease the hype and don't leave knowing. We don't need no one. Yeah, we don't need nobody else. Second Nate, we ain't no bottom shelf.
Mate, this is actually a banger. I can't even count. This is actually so good.
We've made the progression to one. Believe me, we're second to none. So bring the hype if you're down and hit the back as we're done.
Oh, there it was. There's the drop. Oh,
Mate, what a fucking tune, man.
That honestly, like, I don't feel like that matched the way you described it, like, from my opinion anyway.
No, definitely not. No.
Hey, remind anyone that's just joined in chat, and me as well, because I kind of forgot, but like, how would you say that you describe this song? Like, what's your sort of like thought process behind it? Like, how would you describe it if you had to tell someone?
Basically, Entity deserve their applause. Like, we put the work in.
That goes without saying.
You see, for me, I felt like I write that song.
But you can go, so you can go another way. So obviously, that's the way I wrote it.
Yeah.
But then Zach also writes from the sense of the choruses are for the people, the verses are for us.
You see, the way I perceived that was like you guys being like humble about it, not being cocky, like a case of like the way you were talking. So because from the song lyric, it sounded like you were talking to the bandmates, like look at it.
It seemed
But
like
it was
not like a conversation, but it's a back and forth, like a very like obviously high level like back and forth with a lot of wordplay, a lot of like which you don't tend to see in a lot of songs. Like a lot of songs are just like you do your bit, okay, then I do my bit. Like it was very, what's the word I'm looking for? What is the word I'm looking for? Not collaborative. That's not. It was, but that's not the word. It was very. There was synergy. Synergy. I like that word.
Yeah,
We'll go with that.
you tend to feel like that in a lot of Entity songs. Maybe not so much the ones you've heard, but the ones that we've definitely recorded that are yet to come. There's more of a balance of he's part my part, he's part my part. There's a song we've got called Pedestal, and that's very very hip hoppy. Like it's very hip hoppy driven, but with riffs.
Yeah.
Right.
And that song, I will send it to you boys later privately. And you will tell that it's a very back and forth.
Yeah.
Like it's mine, he's, chorus. Mine, he's, chorus.
Okay, but the only thing I would like to pull up here is me and Thomas. Me and Thomas did heard some repeated lyrics.
Yes.
From the podcast song.
The elephant in the room. No, so we had a line that may or may not be similar if you were to type it in a plagiarism checker. So it was like, if I'm probably going to misquote these, but we'll paraphrase just for my own sake. But it was more like cameras on, we're ready to go live. So that was from the podcast song, right? From I Boozy, the soundtrack, and then from this song we heard what was it, Josh? Could you?
It was basically the same.
Yeah,
it was.
We had a little something. This honestly wasn't the intention of listening to the song to call out lyrics that may sound similar. Oh no,
it is now.
He ain't gonna let us go. No, it was like we just heard go live. Basically, what it was, we heard go live, and it was like I said to Josh, I don't think you were here. It was like, it just makes me think of the podcast.
I think the lyrics you're on about is like, now that they're ready to go live, it's showtime, pay no mind, support the cause.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it. Yeah, and we heard that, and we both just like nerded out. We were like. It's the podcast song. It's like, go live. It's like,
and the thing is, things like that can happen.
Yeah.
Not intentionally, but the applause was written 2021.
Yeah.
And obviously, the podcast song was written in October last year. So
we're a more recent. We're a more recent number. Yeah. No, I get you. I don't know if we want to excuse it though.
No, it is. It's the exact same. I've just re-listened
to
it.
No, he's not letting.
Is it actually the same?
He's not letting this go. We've been well and truly diddle chat, live and direct. And I'm joking.
Hang on. Quiet. Fellas.
Oh no. I hate it here. Why are you? The way he's listening to it, and obviously I'm not listening to it, chat, so you guys can't hear it. So all you can see is Josh just putting his ear to a mic, and there being no sound because we can't hear it.
Right, okay.
It's not the same. He literally just said, "Go live."
Listen.
Now that they're ready to go live, it's showtime, pay no mind. That's the bars and applause.
Yeah, and then in the I Booze You song, it's like, it's like no, it's like I Booze You, cameras on, it's ready to go live. Grab a couple drinks, and you know that it's showtime. It's different.
Wait.
Similarity, ready to go live.
Wait. Was this song written before or after the podcast song?
Before, he said 2021.
Oh, we've been plagiarized.
I hate it here.
Right. If you were listening to applause and it was done by like Breaking Benjamin, and then you listened to the podcast song and it was done by me, plagiarism. Both of me. How'd you work that one out? I plagiarized myself.
No, but we've been hoodwinked.
I've had that done to me like in a. So I've submitted a piece of work that I've then tried to reference in a later like thesis or something, and it's like, you've plagiarized that. I'm like, how have I plagiarized my own thoughts? I've not stolen anything. If anything, I've recycled. It's good for the environment. Yeah, there we go. No, Josh ain't having it. Look at his face. Look, no, you can't. Look at his face. Look.
Yeah, bro, I'm not having it. It's our song. Change it. I don't.
What? Change the song that came out in 2020 that he wrote in 2021. That is just like.
I don't give a shit. Change the fucking song.
Oh, here
Change
we
the
But
song.
also, bearing in mind,
I
that
can't
was
do it.
around the point that we were learning applause for live shows because it was ready to come out. So, yeah, it might be my bad.
Look at Josh's face. It's like nothing. I don't think anything.
I'm not having it, man. I'm not having it. We're not having second-hand lyrics on our song.
Our chat is saying we've got
Everything else is finished.
Our chat is saying we got second-hand lyrics. I'm not having
We're
it.
not having second-hand lyrics. We're not doing it.
Right, guys, we're gonna be releasing a diss track soon.
You say you? I think it'll be Josh.
Nah,
No,
Josh, listen, Josh can't write. I have to write it for him, but I'm not taking the plaudits because it can happen. I'm somewhat of a rapper myself. I understand this can.
No, you're not. You're a rapper, but pronounced differently.
Yeah,
Shut up.
the only rappers you know, the fucking chocolate ones, you fat cunt.
Fucking
Go on then. I bet you. Yeah, I bet that Tubbs.
You just did that at the same time. The fact you just did that at the same time is mad, bro.
I bet that. I don't know if you have it. We have a thing called Tubs for Pubs, and I bet you where you bring in fucking like Quality Street tins after Christmas, and Green King donates £2 Macmillan for each one. I bet you've got fucking loads of them. We can make bank off you.
Yeah.
You're alright there.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. You?
Yeah, we're alright.
Mate,
I knew it wasn't directed at us.
that?
Oh, to be
What
fair,
was
that looked like a bottle of something.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
It's summer fruits.
Oh, nice.
nice.
But right, guys, we are gonna.
Yeah,
man.
I was just gonna say like probably good timing because we went off on the maddest tangent. I'm not sure how to feel about it, but Crocodile has redeemed a shot of booze.
Crocodile had redeemed a shot of booze. Right. Okay. Chat. You better get excited because guess what?
He's got something new. He's got a new.
I don't.
Oh no, it's the end.
Anymore.
It's the end of an
No.
era. Nursing that
No,
bottle for how
no,
many
it's not.
episodes, and now it's done.
It's gone.
I've caned bottles of Baileys on this podcast. I need to go get it.
But chap, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this. This is give it a shot. If you know, then you know. Sounds like things. No, things didn't get heated. We just don't want second-hand lyrics. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's, that's not right, man. It's not right. But guys, for real, while Thomas gets that, everyone still here live on twitch.tv/Thomas1997. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to our Spotify listeners, our YouTube watchers, and for some reason, if you haven't already followed Nate on Spotify, Twitter, fuck are you doing? He is incredibly talented. He's got a lot of music in the works coming out. Follow his band as well, Entity. Really talented group of people. Just follow him. Just do it. It costs you nothing. It literally costs you nothing. Maybe 10 seconds of your time. Just do it, guys. Just fucking do it.
Just send it. Just send it, guys. Whatever it is. Oh, we got XIX. You groupie. You're a groupie. You are.
Hang on. I don't know if you can see that. You see that on the label? First batch bottle. Do you know how fucking rare this is?
Yeah. Is this your first time you're popping it open?
She can't play with plugs.
Clogs?
No, plugs, not clogs.
Oh, she can't play with clogs? I'm like, fucking, what are you, Denmark?
She can, yeah. No, don't, because I was going to say something. I was going to say the in-betweeners thing, and I know what you're thinking. I do that one, yeah. The Dutch one. Yeah. What does she do? Wank you off your clogs. That's immediately what I thought about. No, because we have a gym in one of the a Pokémon gym in Loughborough at Queen's Park, and it's called Clogs. And I always think of that scene from the In-Betweeners. Guys, we're making a baby Guinness.
Right.
I fancy a baby Guinness.
I'm wondering if I can get a pop out of this. Right. Let's see if this picks it up.
Yeah.
Oh, we'd love a bottle pop. Okay, so Nate. So while Thomas is making this up, and we wrap this up, we do have a thing that we ask our guests. We ask our guests to nominate someone come on the podcast, and it can be anyone who you think might be interested in coming on. They might want to promote some new stuff. They might want to try something new. But hang on, you got a few minutes to think while we wait for Thomas.
Oh no, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm sorry. I thought we were doing this first and
ready?
then doing the shot.
No. We do the shot.
Bearing in mind, a lot of the people I'm thinking of are in my.
Yeah, mate, perfect. That is literally perfect. That is
Send it.
That is what we want.
Right, speaking of
Thomas,
sending, right.
Chin.
Got baby Guinness.
Fucking straight vodka.
No.
Yeah, that ain't right, man. Straight Sidemen vodka. You know how mad that is.
I haven't been able to drink vodka since I was 15.
You are drinking KSR Legide BTs. Waste. That could be anything.
You were going to say spunk, weren't you?
No.
You were going to say spunk. Just
It's not that consistency, though.
Yeah, it's liquidy and it makes you go like that. Same thing. But yeah, so Nate, so if you wanna nominate someone?
The name that's coming to my mind is a artist called Nick Lang. And whether he'll be down is to his discretion. But he's a good underground artist.
Perfect. So would you be able to like put us in contact? Like,
I can put you in contact with loads.
Love that. So guys, this has been episode 18 of I Boozy, and if in case you missed it, be sure to check out Entity's new single, which comes out next Friday, if I'm correct.
Friday 26th. Yep.
Applause. Be sure to go stream it. Go pre-save it.
And I will say this here and now: pre-save it. Definitely go check it out because there might be a surprise with it.
Ooh, that surprise! Yeah. Let me quickly post. Have we got the link for the pre-save somewhere? I think we do. Hang on. Oh, hang on. Let me quickly pre-save. Where is it? Here. Amazing. Let me quickly post this for you real quick, buddy. So guys, go and pre-save. Go pre-save the song. Nate, thank you so much for your time coming on, man. It's been great to catch up. Honestly,
I
man.
appreciate it, man. Appreciate you guys having me on. Sorry for like the last little bit running off here and there, but
No, you're good. You're good, man. You're good. Thomas, next podcast.
Yes.
What are we saying?
So, guys, next podcast is Friday the 26th. I lied. It's not Friday the 26th because it's an IRL podcast. So, we are going to be the first one. So, the first time me and Josh are in the same room doing the cast. It will be live on Twitch, same old, nothing changing there. But it's going to be on Sunday, the 28th of January at 6 p.m. UK time. So we're both going to be in Liverpool for the Liverpool Regional Pokemon Go Championships. AKA basically when everyone and anyone in the UK just goes to Liverpool and gets pissed. That's all it's for. It's just an excuse to get drunk, guys, if I'm being honest. But guys, the next episode will be Sunday the 28th, so there'll be no live cast on the Friday. It will be on the Sunday. So after that will be our first IRL episode, like we said, and then after that, business will resume as normal on the Fridays. We won't reveal too much about the upcoming ones because we've got a few guests.
Got some bangers.
We've got a few banging episodes in the pipeline. We've got a few guests lined up. We just need to, we're available. We're an open book. We need them to sign a dotted line, sign their life away, like Nate did. Which again, Nate, we appreciate you coming on. Say we appreciate all the work you've done for us, for the cast. Just with the song and everything. Honestly, it does mean a lot. And like we said, we didn't give you a lot in terms of ideas and stuff to go off and say you took an inch and made it a mile. So
made a mountain out of a molehill.
That's you making a mountain out of a molehill about the
I mean, there's a lot that came with that song, and I'm excited to see what you guys do with all that stuff. So. I'm glad to have been a part of this. Thank you.
Remind us. say remind us of what you've got coming up in terms of the like singles and the band and yourself. Like, is there anything coming up in the next sort of like maybe few weeks or a couple months that you wanna shout out?
So in terms of the band, obviously we've got a new single coming out next week with an added surprise onto that if you pre-save the link.
Yeah.
Our first show of the year is going to be in Canterbury, March 22nd, I believe. And then from then on there, it's just full steam ahead.
Canterbury, that's Kent, right?
Wait, yeah. Which venue you play in Canterbury?
Penny Theatre.
Oh, nice. Because there's a rock bar in Canterbury that I think you played at as well.
Lady
Right?
Luck. Yeah, we played both before, but obviously we got invited back to the Penny Theatre this time.
Nice. Love that.
And then after that, we're doing like a mini tour with a band called Nameless.
Oh, nice.
And, we've got festivals coming.
What's their name?
Nameless.
Yeah, what's their? No, I'm joking. Go on, a bad joke.
Oh, shut up, bro! I hate you. I hate it here.
Shoot me dead.
I fucking hate it here.
I hate it
Jesus,
here
what?
too.
Yeah.
No, continue. So you've got a gig coming up. You said, I think.
Yeah, there's just loads of lines up for Entity. Like obviously they're all posted on our socials. So if you're interested, come follow us. Come find out on the socials. Not like to plug the socials. Obviously, Facebook is Entity. Instagram is always _Entity, and then everything else is always Entity.
Yeah. No, we'll drop all of those links in the description, guys, so you guys can check out in your own time. Pre-save the hell out of all of the songs coming up because you don't want to miss out on these surprises, and definitely follow all of the relevant social medias, Facebook, Spotify, because it doesn't cost anything. Like in this day and age, everyone feels like they're trying to get like you're trying to sell something to someone. People are like, oh, what are you trying to sell me? Like literally nothing. We want 10 seconds of your time. That's not a high asking price. Stop being
definitely not.
And I feel like we say this a lot in our episodes now, and I feel like it might end up unintentionally becoming like a mantra or slogan, but just don't be a cunt. Just follow.
Just don't be a cunt.
Yeah, just follow. Just follow. Like why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? The worst comes to worst, you can follow and not engage, but the follow it can go a long way. It really can, guys. You don't realise it.
Yeah, it does. It does go a long way. But yeah, right. So, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna quickly go offline, and then we are gonna come back because it's gonna be Go Battle Week.
Yes.
Me and Thomas are gonna be duo streaming our battles.
Yes.
So be sure to hang around. We're not gonna be too long. But as always, shout out to the live audience, gang. We love you all very much. How you guys sit and listen to us 2.5 hours on a Friday will never cease to amaze us, but we love you all very much for it. Shout out to the Spotify gang. Apple Music coming soon as well. I've started to look into that. Shout out to the YouTube gang as well. YouTube low key popping off? ?
Yeah, when you decide to put the titles for the videos that I didn't just have to do. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. And guys, remember 200 subscribers on YouTube by April 24th, and I will get an iBoozy tattoo.
I got my mate to sub at work when someone told him, "Oh, you do a podcast." I was like, "I went on it and just put a sub." He's the most recent sub. So
love that. But guys, we're gonna love you and leave you. We'll be back in
probably
10
like
minutes,
10-15 minutes tops. Yeah, we'll be back in about 10 minutes, guys. Once we get the setup all sorted out and stuff, and then we'll be ready to go. Cameras on, and we're ready to go live.
Mike's on and is ready to go.
Yeah, there we go. There it is.
There you go. Plagiarism. But right.
Give myself.
Yeah.
Recycling. Josh just isn't very environmentally friendly. We've established that chat.
Right.
Global warming's a myth.
So guys, take care. Much love to all your faces. Nate, take care, my friend. And by the time this comes out, congrats on being a dad. I think by the time this comes out,
Depends when it comes out. I'm not telling you what day she's coming. So
next Friday.
Jesus, Josh.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We hope. Why is that a question? No, I'm not gonna be a dad. For fuck's sake, no, not.
Thomas' dad when? Jesus, right, guys. Let's get out of here. Let's get the scene over. Peace out, guys.
Guys,
love to you
take care. And
Yeah.
So the episode with Joe Beats is up on YouTube, Spotify now. Go rinse the hell out of that, and we'll be back next week on Sunday with the live episode. So you don't want to miss that. We don't want to miss that. So guys, it's
See you
been a
later.
pleasure. Take care.